angry, Aussie, Aussie, angry, Aussie,
Okie dokie. We are live. And this is going to be a slow start to tonight. I'm going to play some Red Dead. So let's do the share this screen. And let's do that. And I like to see any comments there. And I hate. Is it really noon? Sorry, okay. Saying we're past night. Hi, Salumi. Well, maybe I'll cook something then. I'm actually fine. How are you doing? Having an energy drink at the start of the stream. I'm a little bit tired. I'll see if this fucks up my sleep enough. Ha! Not if I drink enough alcohol. Oh. So slightly sleep deprived today after last night's stream. I made up most of the sleep deficit though. So what's been happening in your world? So I did see that lovely purple hair fuzz photo. Looking good. Have we got anything interesting to cook or craft? Well, let's make a potent miracle tonic then. That seems like a useful thing to have. After that, and we'll stow that. Oh, it's definitely getting lighter in the game. F. What else can we do? Dynamite, herbivore bait. Yeah. Make some minty pork, why not? So hanging out for your week off. Yeah, uni break for 2 weeks. Well, that's good. Stow that. Put some cooked meat in your pocket, Arthur. What could possibly go wrong? There are such weird convention. Okay, it's definitely daylight now. All right, let's break down the camp. Tear down the camp. All right. I'm also seeing how big I can get Arthur's beard. Keep giving him hair tonic so his beard will keep growing. All right. Where can I get something fun? A random encounter. What's on the map? Oh, are those weird brothers still in Strawberry? Let's go back to Strawberry and find out. There are these weird guys who are obsessively trying to impress a woman. Oh, shit, we almost went off a cliff. Good riding, Arthur. Ah, that's actually the road. Okay. There we go. We're on the road. Oh, yep. The sad, deserted place there. So many things you can explore in this game if you really want to. Ooh. Did we just get some roadkill? Good work, horsey. Sorry, I missed my turn off there. Fucking hell, the controls are just fucking with me. All right. I'm not taking any long time off work. I'm going away for the weekend in a while, which would, of course, mean no Friday or Saturday night stream that weekend. But having a nice weekend away with Mrs. Angry. Oops. Yep, that I did not steal. Oh, here we are. We're in town. Strawberry. Okay. Everyone likes my horse. Feel compelled to comment on it. It's a bit creepy, really. Hi, Michael. Red Dead Redemption 2. Going into the town of Strawberry to see if I got any random encounters waiting for me. I think there might be something at this post office for me. I will just go in and check while I'm here.
Oh, hello again. Bad news, I'm afraid. I'm out of the information business. The law's just getting too suspicious.
Yeah.
It was good while it lasted, but there we go.
All right. Wait, have I got a bounty?
Let's make you an upstanding citizen once more.
Oh, I do. How do I get a $5 bounty? Oh, wait, no. I just also remembered something. I really wasted my time there. I actually need to load a game. Just do this, because I actually did some stupid fucking around the other day that I want to erase. I want to erase me messing about. I also want to decide on a drink. I'm feeling like I haven't made a rum drink in a while. So in this big book of recipes, let's see, an 18th century Tabi Iraq, creme de cacao, vermouth and lime juice. That's a really interesting sounding drink. Rum, white chocolate, and vermouth. Man, that's a weirdly interesting sounding drink. What do we got? Abuya Cachaça, rum agricole, sherry, creme vert, lime juice. Company buck, black seal rum, pineapple juice, lime juice, ginger syrup. Flor de Jerez, flower of Jerez. Rum, sherry. I don't have any sherry. We sure can make Arthur drunk, actually. I'm just going to have him stand in the dark for a while. Get lucky. Blackberry, white rum, lemon juice, ginger syrup. No, I don't have ginger syrup. Sling of Aphrodite. Rum agricole, pear brandy, apple juice, a seersucker. White rum, lemon juice, cinnamon syrup, and strawberry. Okay. Or stirred rum, an Amityville. Rum, vermouth, absinthe, apple juice, vanilla syrup. It gets weird. Blackstrap rum, Batavia Iraq, vermouth, Campari, Demerara syrup. You know what? I might actually make a version of that a little bit later. All right. What are we doing here? It's friggin' dark again. I hate the dark on this laptop. Micro should start an hour earlier. I get the inconvenience of the time zones, but why is my stamina so low? I should eat a few things. What helps stamina? We don't want those ones that fully restore everything. What does... No. Why don't I do all cores? Actually, wow, that worked well. Where's my horse? You're off in the darkness. I can't freaking see you.
Let's go, boy.
All right. So there was nothing in Strawberry. Are those brothers actually back in... Valentine? Could go to the pub in Valentine. Right, where's the road? Yes, I do want to autosave. Thank you. Overwrite that autosave where I think I did silly things. All right, let's put that on cinematic and think about making a drink. Is that Michael's school holidays has begun? Moving's done. Tattoo's finished. That's all good. Okay, what the fuck is this stupid horse doing? Seriously. I don't know what that's about, stupid horse. You meant to just keep going. Why did you stop? Okay, cinematic again. Horsing around, yes. All right, so being a sophisticated motherfucker, I'm gonna make myself a drink. White rum, apple estate rum. Okay. Like this is like a version of an old-fashioned dark rum, normal rum, vermouth, bit of Campari, sugar syrup. It's like a rum Manhattan. Eagle-eye cherry, cherry herring and rum and sherry. Cubra Verde, white rum, rye, yellow chartreuse and green chartreuse. Wow. You know what? Fuck it. I'm having that one. That sounds interesting. Oh my god, are those fucking wolves attacking me? God fucking damn it. I can't see anything and I'm being attacked by wolves. Oh, fucking hell, man. Fucking hell, these wolves are definitely going to kill me. Jesus, fuck. Okay, I was not expecting that to happen when I was on cinematic. Caught me by surprise and everything went wrong. Well, there you go. Now it's kind of daylight. Fuck you, horse. The road back here. I'm going to get attacked by fucking wolves again. Alright. Please to not get thing. Safa, your cocktail tastes buttery and you like it. Oh, well, that's good. Oh, Salumi, complicated drinks doesn't mean better. In fact, my favorites are the simple ones. But yeah, you start getting up into 5, 6 ingredients. Some of them are good, but this one, 4 ingredients. And I'm going to play with that. Now, when are you going to go into this town and see if these weird brothers are there? I should be making a drink while I'm here. But then again, I might get attacked by fucking wolves again. Well, I got 2 of them anyway.
Out of the damn way.
Yeah, you tell him, Arthur. Out of the damn way. Yeah, so Lumi, the funny is when the modifiers, you can have just, like your favorite spirit or, favorite couple of spirits, but get a couple of good modifiers, liqueurs, vermouth, that sort of thing, depending what your taste is. And that's where you get into the fun drinks. Make your own syrups as well. Wait, there's a campfire. Is that a friendly person or a rude person? I just like to visit campfire. Oh, that's not even a campfire. That's that guy building a house. Okay. But that's a campfire, isn't it? Who's got a campfire just in the trees here? And have they got a nice hat and are they rude? There's a camp.
You ain't supposed to be here. I said, go. Go.
Okay. See, this...
Okay, now.
I'm just doing this to get his hat, basically.
Get your boxy ropes off me, you piece of dirt.
I'll just leave him. I hate you. And I got your hat, so, who fucking wins?
I'll come back for you. I promise.
Arthur, you sarcastic bastard. Oh, no one's going to help you. You don't have friends. Fuck you. Okay. We'll just go into town with someone else's hat, and I'll pretend like nothing happened. All right. Calm down here. And no, Cypher, I wasn't hungover. Just a bit tired. But I did a bit of sleeping in, so
Apparently, Angus tried to kill another bull with the damn hacksaw.
I might go into this bar. What do you want?
Hey there, mister. Howdy. We don't need more trouble from you here. Just passing through, don't want no problem.
Take your attitude. Just because I killed half the town and robbed some shit.
What's your damn self? Oh, think you're real scared, huh? I'll show you scared. Come on, little boy, let's settle this like them.
I always get this wrong.
You know what? You're on. I'll be doing the world a favor. Come on, let's go outside.
Okay, I'm probably going to die again here because I'm real bad at this.
You made a big mistake disrespecting me.
Ooh, long range duel. Okay. That was weird. I was going to shoot him and he had a fainting fit. What the hell was that? Wait, did he just have a stroke? Or he just had a stroke? It's gonna challenge that guy to a duel to the death. That's something I've not seen. He just randomly had a stroke. Yeah.
What do you have?
That dude just fucking died. What do you have food
Looks
wise?
like Reginald didn't get you.
Who?
Reginald Lewis. That whiskey rag challenged you to a duel just there.
Yeah.
That man's challenging every gun belt so much as looks at him sideways. Most people don't give him the satisfaction that I guess you knew your odds. Serves him right.
Oh, I literally he had a stroke or something. I didn't do anything. I don't have something to eat. It's kind of beat up hat. I have to find someone with a nicer hat and take their hat. Honestly. Might pause. I might make a drink. Yeah, Barkeep doesn't care. No one likes the guy. Just do that and make this drink that I like the sound of. So, a Cobra Verde, white rum, rye, yellow chartreuse, green chartreuse. It's interesting. All right, I'm just going to make this in the glass again. I can't be fucked making it the whole way. So, Safa, do I like buttery cocktails? Not specifically, no. But, fat washed spirits, very interesting. And I do have my Easter gin that's been infused with butter. Oh, this is one of my new ones, Salumi. It's probably this is the one that convinced me to get one. Very trippy cocktail cap, this one. Okay, so I'm going to use the Archie Rose white. All right, put that there for now. And I'll use the gospel rye, make it an Australian affair. And there is my green chartreuse and my yellow chartreuse substitute, Ocar Gold. Where's the Ocar? That looks like Ocar Gold. Okay. And is it bitters? No bitters. 1.5, 1.5. Okay. Cool. I'm just going to make this in the glass. Maybe I should put a cherry in it just for something to do. Because I like to put cherries in stuff. The recipe says no garnish, but I don't think I'm going to let that stop me. Oh, yeah, ice. I thought, what am I getting? I want ice. Hey, Dr. Ariel. Let me get some ice and I'll look at what you're actually saying to me. Okay. Und so. Okay, Dr. Abigail. Reports of your simulation were greatly simulated. Well, I'm just hoping you had a good date last night. Safra, I did see Morrison had made some stupid fucking video. You may not be surprised to learn I had no interest in wasting my time watching it. Okay, that was not exactly what I wanted, but anyway. Okay. Cobra Verde cocktail. And hello, Chris. How you doing? Making my version of a Death & Co. cocktail. Oops, that's too much rum. Oh well, I'm just going to have to live with that. And rye whiskey. Rye whiskey. And hey, Chris. Well, I'm surviving. I hope you're surviving. Yeah, about that. Can talk about it if an angry bunch appears. Oh, okay. Yeah, if you want to. Nettie, I love the kitty shirt too. It's Transcendental Cocktail Kitten. It looks like the LGBT cocktails. Yes. A lot of these shirts are sort of 50s, 60s style design. And I'm a fan. Okay, green absinthe. And my yellow, not green absinthe, green chartreuse. And my yellow chartreuse substitute. All right. And there's my drink. Yeah, Chris, I can see Pink Panther things. Yeah. All right. Even though it's not part of the menu, I'm getting cocktail. See if I can. I think there's only a very small number of them left. All right, I need a spoon. I need a spoon to help me. So I'm going to have a raspberry lime margarita. Fun. Which reminds me, I do actually want to try this new soda. It's supposed to have a tequila with. Right. Need to use a spoon to find a cherry. What? God, there might only be one or two cherries left in here. Lucky I have another jar. All right. That can go in there. Sody pop. Yes, I have a soda that's meant to make instant margarita, I think. So I'm just going to do that. See what it's like as an instant margarita. All right, stir that down a bit. Should be chilled and diluted. Cheers, y'all. Whoa. My word. It's a really boozy cocktail. With some quite complicated flavors going on with that mix. What's the percentage of this one? It's only 40%. Archie Rose's White Cane Spirit. Oof, that is a very boozy drink, though. I like it. So let me. Local Asian Gracer has flavored lemonades aren't fizzy. Oh yeah, yeah. No, they'd be good for frozen margaritas, actually. All right, I'll just put this back. Put the gin back. What the fuck? Okay. I've done this wrong. You go there. You go there. And you go there. Okay. Running out of space. Means I need to drink more booze, obviously. So Chris, you had a really good root beer. Nice. Nothing like a soda in a bottle you need an opener for. Going very old school, requiring an opener for your soda bottle. Actually, are there any more cherries in here? Is this all syrup? No, there is a cherry. There are 2 cherries. Okay. Good info. There are 2 cherries in there. I might just throw a little bit of extra sweetness in my drink, just a tiny bit. That cherry juice. Dissolve the cherry juice off this spoon. Oh dear. Oh yeah, Dr. Abigail, do you want to join the stream? So Joe Stratus, wonder in the name of human science against the possibility of shooting a joint your finest homegrown space using it to land. Well, I don't smoke, so you'd have to turn it into something edible. So, okay. For sharing. No, inviting. That's what I want to do. But any Dr. Abigail wants to join? Does anyone else want to join? Oh, that's nice, Chris. Still got the same bottle opener you had your dad gave you when you're 15. Nice. So we got cherry bomb stuck in your head. And you have a great bottle opener for when you bartended. Comfortable ears. Nice. All right. But my rather boozy drink, what's it called? The Cobra Verde. Very herbal. Herbal from the chartreuse, yellow and green, and then the flavor of the white cane spirit is really coming through. It's got this fruity and earthy flavors. Quite nice. Oh, nice, Chris. So the bottle opener that got it at an Indiana liquor store back in 1978. Good Lord. That's classic. I love that. Safa, is 4% lots for a margarita? No, it's very low, in fact. It's very low. Like a properly made margarita at a bar would be 10 to 15% alcohol at least. Not that that's the measure of a good drink, how much alcohol is in it. But that like canned stuff or bottled stuff, which is usually for tax reasons canned or bottled at 5 or 6%. I think there's a different tax if it's much higher alcohol content than that. So yeah, 4% is actually very low. Your average cocktail is, I don't know, 15 to 20% alcohol by volume. Sorry, I'm off with the pixies. Dr. Abigail's been sitting there. Hello.
Yep. And I've got a face full of Pringles.
That sounds like a good idea.
Hello.
Face full of Pringles. I like that idea.
And now I've got cherry bomb stuck in my head too. Cherry bomb.
It is a classic.
Yep. It is.
Absolute classic.
So I'm gonna tell my story.
Oh yeah.
So a couple of weeks ago I went to a show, Drag King show.
Yep.
And a friend of mine was there who I've had a bit of a crush on for a while, but didn't really do anything about it or anything, just like enjoyed being friends, whatever. But during that night, they were like extra chatty, friendly, and started like buying me drinks, getting real close, started like taking me by the hand and leading me places. It was very flirty, very like just over the top, just did my head in. Like, is this a vibe? This is totally a vibe. Like, this is such a vibe. And she's never like that. Like, she's not like that at like, even when she's drunk, she's like,
okay.
Yeah. So like, yeah. So last night, like, during the week, she asked if we could catch up, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, sounds good. And then she said, well, let's do dinner, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay. So she's asked me out to dinner, and then she said we could go before, because there was this really big drag king show on last night, and said we could go to this drag show, and I'm like, cool, okay. So I'll get all dressed up. I mean, and based on how she was that other night, like, this is totally going to be a date, right? Turns out not a date, and she was just being friendly. Like, how,
Oh,
like how do you misread that? Like, I know
oh,
I'm pretty bad at misreading when it, like, I've done this so many times thinking it's a date and it's not a date. But
yeah,
that was like just such a sign. Like,
yeah,
and and yeah, this yes, thank you, Salumi. This is why queer dating is so hard. Because yeah, oh, she was just being friendly and drunk, and we may
yeah.
have done other mycelial substances as well.
Right.
But like, she was just like letting off steam, and um, it just was being overly friendly. So like, I brought that up over dinner. I brought that up, like, last time you were being overly friendly. I thought I picked up a vibe, and like, so I ended up hanging out with another friend last night
Okay.
and had a good time, and yeah, like, thank you, Nettie. Yeah, it was. I don't know. I did my head in, and I thought, because I've been sending out kind of
Yeah,
subtle, kind of I'm interested vibes to her for
yeah,
the past few months, and I thought she
yeah,
picked up on it and kind of went all out, but who'd have thought? But yeah, so I ended up spending the night with my regular circle of friends instead, um,
yeah.
and had a good night anyway. So
Well, that's
so
good.
yeah,
I,
um,
I yeah, I
yeah.
honestly feel
I didn't let it ruin my night. So
good, good. But I
mm,
honestly feel like you weren't misreading things out. But sometimes
yeah,
people
yeah,
change
right.
their mind on another night. I think on that night, that's what she was doing. And then
Well,
maybe she
what
decided not to. I don't know.
what she told me is that she'd been going through a bit of stress.
Yeah.
Like a like I'm under exaggerating, like a lot of stress, and she was just like letting her hair down, and just the vibe, like that vibe just overtook her, and she was just being
But, okay.
overly friendly, and just got
Oh, well.
drunk, and just, yeah, but she was like touching my leg, and
Yeah.
like
No,
holding my hand, and just all this
I,
stuff. And usually because she's on the spectrum, right?
yeah.
And usually doesn't like all that touchy stuff, but she was all over me. So like, we did everything except kiss each other. Like,
Yeah.
it's, yeah,
Yeah. I don't
yeah.
think you were
Anyway,
misreading that night. I think she
mm.
maybe
Yeah,
changed her
thank
mind.
you.
I think she's
Well,
being
maybe, yeah.
super, and
Maybe she
that's a
did change her
reasonable
mind.
thing.
Maybe it was innocent. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't think it was malicious, but
No, no, of
I think
course not. And we'll
one
be
night
friends still.
I'm in a super flirty carry on mood, and then another night I go, oh,
Yeah,
I got carried away, and I'm not going to do
yeah.
that.
And
Um,
she might have just, like, to try and save face, or she might have other issues that she hasn't told me, and she's just trying to
yeah, yeah,
like
could be
save some
anything.
embarrassment and
Yeah.
backtrack, and who
Just like,
knows. But
oh no, yeah, yeah, but
yeah.
yeah, life
But yeah,
complicated.
life, people are complex, I have
Yes,
found. And this is why I keep saying that people on the spectrum shit me to tears, because I've spent so much of my, like, cognitive process figuring out social cues and body language and everything of neurotypical people, that when someone on the spectrum comes along, it just like throws me off. It's just a curveball.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I do have the same effect on other autistic people as well.
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
So,
all do the things that really annoy us when other people do them. And it's like,
yeah.
and
So,
sometimes I think it's because you're seeing yourself, and yeah,
maybe. So
I don't
yeah,
know.
that's the story of the date.
Yeah.
But then I hung out with I have another a good friend named Abigail, believe it or not, who's also on the spectrum.
Yeah.
But she's like really having a hard time with depression at the moment. So I was hanging out with her and her partner, and my lady friend turned up, who I haven't seen in a while, and so I
Yeah.
got to hang out with and have some cuddles with my lady
Oh,
friend who
nice.
chooses to remain nameless at this stage.
That's fair.
So
No,
yeah,
no.
that was cool, and she kind of let her hair down a bit, and yeah, and we hung out for a drag king show, and it was it was a really good night. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, well that's good. See,
uh,
that's a much better story time than last night's
yeah.
story time was another AZ near-death experience.
Oh, what
Yeah.
happened?
Oh, he's been in
Oh
hospital
no.
again because he wouldn't stop bleeding.
Oh
He got a nosebleed that
damn.
wouldn't start, and they were like, "Your blood pressure's fucked." And then boss of the house said, "Oh, you say that?" And I went and checked, and he hasn't been taking his blood pressure medication.
Uh,
And so everyone judged AZ for self-inflicted wounds, and then they changed his
yeah.
leg things and were horrified at how disgusting and gross his legs are. And he says he made medical staff cry.
Oh.
Just with how it goes. So it was basically another AIDS near-death experience. He ended up in hospital, and
He's he has one of the Deathly Hallows. He's got it.
Oh, absolutely,
He's
absolutely.
got two at least,
Yeah,
because
he
he's been escaping death for years.
yeah. The last 10 years, he's gone into hospital so many times
Yeah.
where there was a worst case scenario that was absolutely plausible. It was not 1,000,000 to 1 shot, but like at least 10 times in the last 5 years, he's been
Yeah.
in the hospital where the worst case scenario was he was going to die in hospital. And again, like I'm saying, not 1,000,000 to 1 shot. It's like, oh no, oh Jesus, this is fucked. What you have is fucked, and
Yep.
we need to look at you because this might kill you. And he keeps coming through, and not facing the worst case scenarios. It's absolutely mind blowing. But
he keeps winning against death in in Twister.
Yeah, you need to. Yes, he does the
Yes.
villain thing of being death.
Yeah.
But, yeah. You,
Which is he? Do you know which hospital is in? Is it close to me? Can I visit, or is it?
he is not in
or is he
hospital
out?
anymore. It wasn't
Oh,
actually
okay.
a long stay in hospital. It was basically like a
Oh, it
nosebleed.
was like an
that wouldn't stop.
ER.
Yeah. A
Sure.
nosebleed that wouldn't
Okay.
stop for several hours. And boss of the house went, well, this is fucked. I'm calling an ambulance. And AD's like, no,
Sure.
they don't care. It's just a nosebleed. And then AD gets surprised because the ambulance shows up because boss of the house says his nose hasn't stopped bleeding for 2 hours. And
Yeah.
so they showed up, and he went, oh, well, they showed up, but they're just going to say, this is dumb. We're leaving. But they didn't. They went, this is fucked. We're taking you to the hospital. And he's going, yeah, but I'll take you to the hospital. And the doctors will say, this is dumb. Go home. No, a whole bunch of doctors clustered around him and went, wow, this is fucked. And
yeah, okay.
they pump. So he had this whole succession of, it's not a thing. And other people went, no, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Starting with
I have a tendency to do that too.
Yeah. Finishing with a bunch of doctors. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, I remember going. I had a GP appointment for a completely different thing, but she took my doctor took my blood pressure, and they just said, "Are you feeling faint right now?" And I'm said, "Well, I'm a bit shaky," and she called an ambulance.
Yeah.
and I ended up in the emergency department because I was like, oh, just kind of fainty, you know.
Yeah.
And apparently my blood pressure was like super super low. I have
Yeah.
a family history of low blood pressure.
Okay.
I don't know what was causing it, but they couldn't figure it out either. But when I
Okay.
fell over a few times in hospital, just walking, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yep. I
yeah,
just love the way, like, I just had a succession of really long text message, and at the end of each one was "story continues," and
yeah, yeah,
and yeah, the upshot was another near-death experience. But tell the gang it was just a thing, and I'm fine. But I told everyone all the like gross details, and I was just like, yeah.
yeah.
So it was
Okay,
literally another near-death experience that he somehow miraculously came through. But
yeah.
uh, Salumi saying you're like a Victorian fainting lady. You've
Oh,
got the vapors. You've got the
I've got the
vapors.
vape. Well, I still would like hysteria to be a diagnosable thing for women, so that we can go to a doctor to have a prescription orgasm.
I was about to say
Will it
because
be, like,
the prescription was a vibrator. It was like,
yeah, yeah,
hey, I've noticed these women calm down when I apply a vibrator to
yeah.
the lady area,
I
and
can't
then they're
seem to do it
happy.
myself. Can the doctor do it for me? Hello, Bella.
Yeah,
I
um,
yeah, I wish that was a thing too.
yeah, yeah.
Hey,
The 19th century, where the two prescriptions were vibrators for ladies and cocaine for everything else, and
yeah, or laudanum.
yeah, some sort
Yeah,
of morphine, cocaine.
morphine. Yeah,
Um,
yes.
like, drink this; it'll make you feel better. What is it? It's called laudanum. Oh, what's that? It comes from a plant called the poppy, and you drink a bunch of this, and you don't give a shit about anything. And it's like,
Yes, because it's addictive as fuck, and it's
yeah,
now
I was
a
about to say,
class one drug.
yeah,
Yeah, and it makes your
said
teeth
drive
fall
your
out
face
and you
off it
die.
because it
Yeah,
killed a bunch
it's
of people, and a quite
oh
good,
yeah, lobotomies.
yeah,
Thank you, Megalich.
a quite good explanation of it was in a
I'm
TV
gonna eat
series
some
from a couple of
Pringles.
years ago called The Nick, which unfortunately finished after 2 seasons. They could have done more. It was basically about the period where we crossed over from you should do more cocaine because you've got ghosts in your blood to here's an actual medical procedure. So basically early 20th century where surgery was experimental and there was a minimum 50-50 chance the patient would die if you did something, but you might save them. So they were basically just fucking experimenting on people. But yeah, it's like all the surgeons, because of the stress of their job, were addicted to cocaine because they were using cocaine as a painkiller for patients. And then they would
Yep,
just people die all the time. So they were just doing shit tons of cocaine to blank out the horror of their daily lives. And there was a really
and just
humorous,
stay awake.
yeah, there was a really humorous bit towards the end of season 2 where the protagonist is in rehab and we've got this great new thing that cures you of your cocaine addiction and it's definitely 100% non-addictive. And there was this an incredibly slow tracking camera shot to the vial on his bedside table. That's the thing they just injected with him, and it really slowly tracks. And the brand name of the thing they just injected with him with was heroin, and it's like definitely non-addictive. Cocaine addictive. We've worked out cocaine's addictive, and a bunch of doctors are killing themselves with cocaine overdoses. But we put someone into a half sleep for a week with constant injections of heroin, and that's definitely not addictive. And they
Yeah,
don't want cocaine when they wake up. And it's just like, oh, seriously, the medical profession just fucking experiment. And see, this now sounds dangerously like I'm going to go into anti-vax territory. It's like, it's quite hard to keep a level head because definitely the medical establishment fucking experiments on us. They do. They still do. They absolutely still. They're usually a bit more
There,
open
I mean, there are
about it now.
significantly more checks and balances now than there
Yes.
was back then.
Yeah, they're usually very open about the fact they're experimenting on us. Whereas in a lot of the 19th and 20th century, they just lied to patients. I mean, this will work, and they were like, I have no
Especially
fucking idea.
Soldiers, women,
Yes.
and black people.
Yep. Those were the ones who got experimented on big time.
Yep.
With no consent.
Yep. Absolutely.
Whenever you hear things about what's the lowest temperature a human can survive or the highest temperature a human can survive, it's 20th century experiments that were done on soldiers. The military said, just do this and we'll see how high we can raise the temperature before you lose consciousness, or how far we can drop the temperature before you lose. And
and people rail on the Nazis for experimenting on Jewish people. All that Americans did it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's bad, but of course it's bad. But Americans did it just as bad. Like they were just as bad, if not worse.
Yeah. The one of the worst ones were the Tuskegee syphilis experiments, where black men who this was in the early to mid 20th century, black men in the southern states in the US were told they were being injected with cure, and it was saline. It was nothing.
Yeah.
Because they were literally, these white doctors were just like, well, let's just document the degenerative stages of tertiary syphilis, and we'll let these patients die because, hey, who cares about them? That was one of the worst ones. But there was a bunch. There was a bunch in the 20th century. And so it's very hard to keep a level head with keep some healthy skepticism with the medical establishment and drug companies, but try not to be absolutely fucking insane. Because it's easy.
And the history of wrong button. The history of the contraceptive pill.
Oh my god, that's just been experimentation on women. That's the history of the contraceptive pill is terrible.
Yeah, but when they got it halfway right, you've still got a comment up on the screen. You're really off with the fairies today, aren't you?
No, I'm not. That's a shortcoming of how StreamYard works. I did block him. There's nothing else that can be done. There's nothing else that can be done.
Oh, okay, because maybe display someone else's comment.
Oh, I didn't even
there we
know
go.
that was there. I clicked the wrong button. Jesus.
Yeah. Okay.
That was an off with the Pixies moment. Sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, so when they halfway got the contraceptive pill right, men tried to take it away from women.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
And then when they got a contraceptive pill for men and realized and the side effects were not even like a tenth as bad as what they were for women, men couldn't handle it, so they took it off the market.
Yeah.
And this was recent too.
Yes, no, that is very recent. There have been multiple things where it's like, we've developed an effective male contraceptive, and it produces mild versions of the symptoms a lot of women get from contraceptives. And they've just gone, we'll take that off market. No man's taking this. And it's just like, deep sigh. Okay, God.
Yep. And look, the surgeries on intersex infants.
Oh my God, yes.
Without even telling parents in some cases.
In some cases. I have a video, oh my God, from ages ago, from an internet friend. She's from the US. She did sadly die, but she was born intersex, and this is in the deep south in the US, like in Appalachia or somewhere. And she was already mixed race, like one of her parents was Asian and one was Caucasian, and so there was already up against it. So when she was born intersex again, they did surgery, and because she actually had visible external male and female genitals, and the doctors said, we're going to say this is a boy and we're going to do a bit of surgery here and whatnot. And what they didn't look into is she did not have functioning testes, but she did have internally functioning ovaries. And so she hit puberty, and no one had ever told her about
no.
what happened when she was born. And suddenly, like, you know how, I don't know if anyone does know this, girls tend to hit puberty before boys. So girls tend to have a growth spurt before boys. So you'll get some early teen girls who'll be taller than boys. So in her early teens, she shot up and got much taller, and they thought, yeah, you need to play football because you're bigger than everyone else. But then boobs started to grow as well.
Yeah.
Estrogen, and then it all.
Oh dear, it all came out.
Yeah, and it was a whole thing about what had happened to her, and it's just like, yeah, okay, so that was fucked. She actually had some other health issues, and like I said, she unfortunately died a couple of years ago. But there's a video with her on my YouTube channel. It's slightly disturbing how many dead people are on my YouTube channel. Actually, I think it's at least 6 or 7 people. There are at least 6 or 7 people who are in video, and I don't mean in the background. I mean they're featured in videos and they're dead.
Yeah.
It's like 15, 16 years on YouTube is long enough for a bunch of people who feature on videos to have died, and it's just like, God damn. Okay. Ugh. And nobody, g'day to you too. Yeah.
Oh, there's nobody here. Hey, nobody. G'day. Oh, Bella, you're killing me with your sharp claws.
Ooh, doing the claw thing. Okay, this is what happened last night. After last night's stream, I went and slept on the lounge, and Mimsy kept fucking jumping on me. Because Mrs. Angry closes the bedroom door so my noise doesn't penetrate the bedroom, wake her up. So Mimsy can't go in there. So
hang on. Have I heard about the bird? Nobody?
Bird
have I
is
heard
the
word about the bird is the word? Sorry, go on. I was just making a dumb joke with nobody.
Yeah, but no, because Mimsy couldn't go in the bedroom. She kept jumping.
Yeah.
I was exhausted and drunk after the stream. And so I'm just lying on my back out like that. And Mimsy like fucking jumps on me and wakes me up. And I'm like, oh, fuck it. And then I'd fall straight back asleep. So it's almost as if she got the message, oh, well, that's not a bad thing then. So she just kept jumping on me. I think at one point I had a dream that she was an evil scientist who was doing it on purpose. Because I'd just been woken up so many times by her jumping on me that my brain was just addled.
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh, yes. No, nobody's saying he's coming down again. That's what it's about. Yeah.
Oh, so, okay. I thought, artificial bird powered by jet engines. I did not get that.
Nice.
I got, a bird powered by jet engines. Does its wings flap then? Like, I was like, oh, you're talking about a plane. Yeah. Yeah, they do move. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Coming down again. Cool.
Yeah. But so I slept on the lounge till the early hours of the morning, like, I don't know, 6 a.m. Then I went in the bedroom, and Mrs. Anger is already awake, and I'm like, okay, I'm coming to the bedroom. And then I'm like, okay, I can barely function. Mimsy's been fucking, even though I've had like 4 or 5 hours sleep, Mimsy was fucking I can't even function. It was like this huge effort to take my clothes off. And then I just put my breathing apparatus back on and said, sorry, going back to sleep. And then I woke up at 10 a.m. and I was like, okay.
Oh God, yeah. I got home last night at 2 a.m. and like just crashed hard,
Yeah.
and I barely had the energy to, because I'd been out all night. I'd been like pseudo dancing. I hadn't actually been dancing. Kind of been sitting in a chair dancing, and because my legs my fibromyalgia makes my legs fucked.
Yeah.
But I was like active and had a few drinks and anyway, so 2 a.m. crash. Barely had the energy to plug my phone in. Oh, see you later, Bella.
There you go. Yeah.
And ended up waking up at like 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
It's just like
Yeah.
out,
Yeah.
and 12 hours later.
Yeah. Last time I got really exhausted, young Mr. Angry had some of his friends over, and it was a Saturday night. I was doing a stream, or Friday night. I think I finished the stream at kind of the normal time, but I stayed up till 3 a.m. because they didn't leave till 3 a.m. and I was just like keeping an eye.
Yeah.
And I was fucking exhausted. And what was funny is I went to bed and I put my CPAP machine on, but I was so tired it was not on properly. But I just lost consciousness as soon as my head hit the pillow, and the entire night, the fucking nose thing's on at 40. So I looked at my report the next morning, and they were just like, "No, that was not right at all. You did not have." So apparently, the whole night it was just not on, making a noise like a jet engine blowing air that I wasn't inhaling properly. But I was just, I just exhausted, and it was an extra hour wasn't the worst thing. It was being hyper vigilant the whole time, like. What are the youths doing?
Yeah.
I was just fucking exhausted. It's they're not teenagers, they're 20-somethings. So it's like...
So it's surprising how much of a drain that is. Like just having to keep watch on something.
I was really surprised. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, because it was just like, when I looked at the sleep report, it's like, my God, the CPAP machine wasn't on correct at all. But I just lost consciousness for 6 to 8 hours. And it's like, oh, that noise should have been loud enough to wake me up. But I was just fucked. I was just gone. And he wants to do it again, because he missed out on a proper 21st last year because of COVID. He turned 21 last year. But he missed out on so he says, can I have a bigger party? This winter, like his birthday's at the end of May, and it's like, I mean, yeah, sure, I guess. So sometime
why did you have to keep watch on them?
I kind of didn't have to, but I chose to. His friends are actually really good people. They're a really solid bunch. And it was just kind of, all this alcohol is such a temptation. It's almost entrapment if you leave 20-somethings unsupervised with all this alcohol here.
Fair enough.
So I probably didn't really have to do it because they're actually quite good, but I chose to do it. So yeah, sometime mid-June after the uni exams, he wants to have a big party. And I went, well, yeah, theoretically, yes. Notwithstanding weird, unpredictable shit could happen with COVID. Like, we are absolutely having more cases and more deaths than at any time so far. If it may well get past the stage where we can pretend it's not happening.
We have a new variant in Australia as well.
And we could get another new variant anytime. It was like, there was a little interview with what's his name on the ABC, Norman Swan. It's Fran Kelly. She does a good job, and she's talking, and she said at one point, he said, like, we could have all these plans, they could be thrown out of the water by a new variant, and Fran Kelly goes, what's the chance of that happening? And his response was almost it was almost angry. It was extremely dismissive, but it was almost angry. And he's just going, you can't answer that question. Someone could step off a plane tomorrow with a completely different variant. There are no odds. It might happen. It might not happen. But the idea of what are the chances of that happening is you can't define that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We could have a catastrophic variant arrive tomorrow. And it also might never happen. Every variant from now on might be more deadly, less deadly than anything that's happened up to now. But the idea of asking him to predict it is just like, no, you can't predict it.
I've got a prototype funnel of my own design to show you.
Oh,
you
yes.
remember the layering funnel?
Yes.
This is one I designed myself with my own bent on it. So I've
cool.
decided a very angular design. I've reinforced the spout a bit.
Yeah.
And it's like all original, kind of easier to print, thicker. So it's you can't really tell because it's very white, but it's got
hole in there now.
a little hole there, and the spout is reinforced.
Yeah.
On the other edge, but I completely designed that from scratch in CAD software. I'm learning how to design stuff in CAD software.
Nice.
That stuff is hard.
Yeah.
And I'm using like an engineering level CAD software, not just 3D modeling software I'm not using Blender, which I mean is valid. You can do it, but this is hardcore what I'm using because I don't do things in halves. I could do it easy, but of course I have to do it the hard way, don't I?
Yeah. Oh, and for anyone
I don't know
who
why.
doesn't know, CAD is computer aided design.
Oh yeah, I could give you a brief overview if you really wanted. But
hey, I'm always up for it.
Thanks, Illumi. Thank you.
Yeah, and even on the prototype ones or the other person's design that Dr. Abigail printed for me, I made some very effective layered shots. At some point, I'll do a whole video, and I was thinking of, because Dr. Abigail was planning to set up an Etsy shop, I'm thinking of waiting till all that's ready, and then I'll do a video specifically marketed.
I need to wait till I can afford to get some mailing boxes and figure out how I'm going to ship them, because I got to work on packaging and stuff. So and some little cards to put in them with the store name and stuff. And some art for it. Do I know, are there any... Oh, good night, nobody.
Nobody.
Thanks for dropping in. Do I know any illustrators here in the chat that would take a commission for drawing some things for me? I will pay you.
Yes, you can usually
hit me up.
Find someone.
Yeah, hit me up. Otherwise, I can. I mean, I'd rather commission friends to do it. So, but I know I can go elsewhere. But if I have some friends that can do it, that's even better.
Yeah, I agree. I always try and do that same sort of thing if I need something to say, hey, who's got commissions open? I need...
Oh, thanks, Salemi. Yeah.
Oh, no, there you go. Salemi's got some contacts, so that's nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I've been working on this prototype, and I haven't strictly tested it yet, but I assume it's going to work. I mean, it sits in a cocktail glass, so and I should just actually test it, really.
Yeah, we should do it one time when you're able to come over.
In the meantime, do you know you can actually see it. These shelves here are actually IKEA side tables. They're like coffee tables.
Okay.
And they're clipped together with these 3D printed little bracket things. And nice. I fired up my CAD software, and I'm building little extenders and these little I don't even know what to call them, little brackets to put in walls. And what I'm going to do, yes, they're lac And heaps of people build like enclosures and shit with these lacks. They're almost a perfect cube. So what I'm going to
nice.
do, these are for the rear, and these are for the front. I'm actually going to build an enclosure for my 3D printer, and like I'm building them in bits to like separate and like step it up and build it like double walls on 3 sides. And the purpose of that is to enclose the printer to keep the heat in, because some filaments require a constant temperature. Even like a draft coming in can warp the print or throw off a layer, and then the whole print is ruined. And it's just, yeah. So I've been printing and designing all these parts for that. So I have been putting my downtime for my Etsy store to good use. So, and yeah, IKEA furniture can be repurposed so easily. Yeah, lack enclosures on Thingiverse are everywhere. So many. So when I'm done with this, it's actually a remix of another design, and I've taken it and ran with it. I didn't find any with double walls. They're all single walls, and I like double walls because it's more layers of insulation. That's why we have double insulated windows. So it's for soundproofing and for better insulation. And I'm going to post it back on Thingiverse because I'm not going to make money from it, and just let people play with it. And the good thing about Thingiverse is that it's all open source. So people can take your design, modify it, put it back on Thingiverse, and yeah, you get better designs out of it. It's really cool. Because
Nice.
that's how I got this. That's how I got this design.
Nice.
So yeah.
That's what you like. Some creativity and artistic sharing. Sorry,
Yeah.
Had a very difficult time finding that ingredient, but anyway.
Yeah,
sorry,
I've noticed that.
Yeah.
Oh, I just read Sir Lumi's comment about 3D printing and sticking to sewing. Yeah, like the actual art of 3D printing, because like 3D printing is not like plug your device in and fire it up and away it goes. It's not like a 2D printer where you just print out a document. It's a hobby. There's so many points of failure. There's so much calibration involved. So many things can go wrong, and so much knowledge you have to apply to it, which is what I find so fascinating, and so what draws me in. And to get a success out of like 20 failures is the payoff. And it can be frustrating at times. Like, why isn't this working? Why isn't my print sticking to the bed? Or why is this happening? And that is so frustrating. But when you finally figure it out, it's so rewarding.
Yeah.
So
there you go. That's. I think that sums up a hobbyist. You do something that drives you absolutely crazy, but it's supremely rewarding when it works.
Yeah. And it's the same when I write software as well. Like you can spend a day just like tearing your hair out trying to find a bug and what's causing a bug. And when you finally figure it out, you feel like you're 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
And you just go with it. And when you see one of your colleagues just say, "I am a god," and you're like, "Yeah, you did it." And it's just, yeah, we all get it. We all get it. And it's just so cool.
Yeah.
One of the guys
Yes. So I was thinking like, and that's why the most frustrating error in technology is the intermittent and impossible to reproduce fault.
Yes.
That's mind-blowingly frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah, so I remember learning to crochet salumi many years ago, and
Yeah.
I am also I'm very much a visual person. I gotta when I start something, I have to know what it's going to look like at the end before I start. But I can read a pattern that's just written in numbers and do
Yeah.
it. But with
Yeah.
crochet, you can. There's also this Japanese notation that's all visual.
Yeah.
So I haven't learnt that yet. Yes, you want to see the end goal? Yeah, yeah. I've seen some books with or like some patterns that don't have a picture. Like,
Oh wow.
why
Yeah.
would you do that?
Yeah.
Huh? Why would you
What?
do that? And they're all old, like these old from the 70s kind of
Yeah.
pattern books.
Yeah.
Most books nowadays, it because printing is so much easier nowadays.
Yes. Yeah. Printing as recently as the 70s was quite expensive.
Yeah. Safa, to answer your question, I have made a few computer games before. It's not my thing. Most people prefer it because it's fun. I guess it's okay. It doesn't fill my cup, so to speak. But I my favorite my favorite computer game that I wrote is actually a clone of Frogger,
Okay.
which I did for uni. But the big draw was that it was on a one of the Microsoft Surface tables, which was like
Oh, I remember
this
this. Yeah.
big. It was the second gen table. So the
Yeah.
first gen was kind of shit. The second gen was really cool because every pixel was its own um uh detector. So it was like in like multi-touch, every pixel was multi-touch. And so the game of Frogger, you played it by the frog was a physical object that you moved around on the screen.
Yeah.
And so as a project, I was the programmer on that on that project. So I had to do all the code for it, and I loved every minute of it. I was overworked, but
Yeah.
I did it, and it was so cool to see this final product. And Swinburne, the uni I was at the time, um, use it to this day in open days
Oh, nice.
to showcase, and
Nice.
every now and then I see it and people loving it, and
Nice.
yeah, and I'm like chuffed about that.
Yeah. No, that's
Because
excellent.
how often do you get to play Frogger with a physical frog, you know?
Yeah.
So
Nice.
it was C#, using a game engine that is now deprecated. They don't use it anymore, unfortunately. But it was all Microsoft stuff. It was actually pretty fun using C# for a game. C#'s my second favorite language to use.
Okay.
Which is funny because my first favorite language is Delphi. Both languages are written by the same person, Anders Hallsberg.
Oh.
So they share a lot in common.
Hmm.
So,
Okay. Good trivia.
yeah. But I prefer when I'm doing development, when I'm doing software, I kind of prefer back end stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like to have to worry about user interface stuff and user experience stuff. I want to like worry about other things. I want to worry
Yeah.
about clock cycles and semaphores and you know multi-threaded stuff and all the stuff that users don't give a shit about.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yes, they
yeah,
don't.
So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I remember a boss once told me um, software is like a duck paddling across a pond. The end user, all they want to know is all they want to see is the duck moving across the pond. They don't want to see how
Legs.
fast the legs are going under there. They just want to see the
Right.
duck moving. And I'm like, but I care how fast the legs are moving. Like,
Yeah,
what about the ripples behind the duck? You know? So yeah.
yeah,
Um.
yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that was one of the games I wrote. Another game I wrote was when I was first learning to code. It was straight out of high school, and um, in high school. Did you ever play these games? You get a pen and a piece of paper, and you put a pen on the paper, and you flick the pen, and you play like golf or something. You draw a
Yes.
golf course, and we used to have a version of that that was a space game, and we used to draw a black hole in the middle, and we'd have spaceships, and
Okay.
we'd use a blue pen to move and a red pen to shoot each other. And we played it on paper, and we after high school we started we went into a TAFE course, a diploma of IT, and we had a sportsman's bet who could write that game first. So I kicked his ass, unfortunately, because I felt really bad about that. He was okay. He just wasn't really. He could write software, but he was more of a manager type, and I was
Yeah,
clearly a programmer. But
yeah.
I learnt all that year's material in the programming class in the first 6 months, then wrote the game. And it was 1994, I think.
Yeah.
And so it was all DOS based, and I had like
Okay. Yeah.
VGA graphics, all
Oh
full
wow. Okay.
color and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
his version, when he finally finished it, was all ASCII because he
Yeah.
hadn't figured out how to do VGA graphics, and didn't know how to animate anything. And kudos for him finishing, like he committed to it. So,
Mhm.
but like you could tell when he saw mine that he was a bit dejected,
Oh
because
no.
mine kicked ass. It compared, it was just so like it's still shit to this day, but it was so good compared to his. But it felt so bad for him.
Yeah.
So that was another game I wrote. And I finished it so quickly. He was still like halfway through like the class, and I'd already finished all that year's classwork and
Oh
had
dear.
nothing to do for like another 6 months. So
Yeah.
I wrote this game. So yeah. I had a weird experience as in high school. I had no idea that I was that good with IT and computers. I was all in on science and chemistry and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And but I'd been writing software on my Commodore 64 this whole time.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I did chemistry and all that at uni. I went to Monash and hated it eventually. And so yeah, like my friend hooked up. We got together and just said, look, we both hate what we're doing. Let's do this TAFE course. And all of a sudden, I'm like, hell yeah, computers. I'm actually good at this. Why
Yeah.
didn't I figure this out before? I'd been doing it for so long, and it was just so easy to do. And I wish I'd known that so much longer.
Yeah.
I wish I'd known that before I did the chemistry, the science degree. Like, That would have been handy.
Sulumi's being a brat, and
Oh!
she'll creep when she comes to Melbourne.
I
They're
feel
doing that on purpose.
old now. Yeah.
They're doing that on purpose. They're being a brat. They're asking for a particular punishment when they come to Melbourne. Is what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Time for a spanking, I think.
So, when I was at high school, all we would be recite Monty Python jokes. We're joking because
I'm glad you got the reference.
Yeah,
That's
because
a
some of us
Holy
have seen
Grail
the Holy
reference.
Grail. There's the thing with
Yeah.
Sir Galahad, the Chaste.
The Chaste, yep.
Getting into the nunnery.
And the oral sex.
Yeah, and I actually said the line just as someone came into our senior common room. I just went, first we'll have the spanking, then we'll have the oral sex. And someone working just as I was saying that, and they were like, what? And I went, it's a movie quote, okay?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to
Yes.
disappoint you, but the spanking and the oral sex is not happening in the senior common room. I was just doing a movie quote.
No, you got to save that for the prayer room, don't you?
Exactly. Oh, that's apparently in Parliament. Yeah.
Yeah.
The prayer room. Everyone was
Room is
booking
where-
sex workers to
Rent boys. Like that was
yeah.
male sex workers. Like Liberal Party members. Male Liberal Party members who wanted to not have same-sex marriage were hiring male sex workers because they're not hypocritical enough. Fuck them.
Yeah,
Fuck
I do have
them.
a problem with hypocrisy. I have a very big problem with
Oh.
hypocrisy.
Yeah. So
God.
watching Halo, the TV series, has made me want to play Halo, the video game, again.
I have enjoyed the first 2 episodes. I've seen the first 2 episodes. This
have you watched
be
the
good.
3rd episode?
Not yet, no.
They've broken away from the story so much from the video
Which I
game,
thought
but
they
that's
would,
fine.
yeah.
It's still a good. They can't tell exactly the same story.
Yeah. Again, because some of my favorite comics that have been turned into TV shows. The Walking Dead particularly interests me because the Walking Dead comic ran for 10 years, and they're now doing the final, and it finished a couple of years ago, and they're doing the final season of the TV show now. And the comic creator, Robert Kirkland, has been involved the entire time, and he's clearly just gone, okay, I'm setting it in the same world with the same major plot points, but there's different characters, and I'm just going to do different things. In the comic, character X made decision A, so I'm just going to have them make decision B in the TV show and explore what would happen if they made decision B.
Legit, yeah.
And I think that's pretty good, honestly.
Yeah. I don't like what they've done with Cortana in episode 3. I'm not going to spoil it for you.
Mhm.
And if you haven't played the computer game, you probably aren't aware of Cortana in the video game. But I don't like what they've done with her in the TV show. But I'll wait and see what happens with that.
Yeah, I'll probably watch tomorrow.
Yeah,
I was watching a few things today, just aimless stuff. Moon Knight, the latest Marvel series.
Yeah,
with
okay.
Again, I just love
Isaac,
Oscar Isaac. He's got basically a 20-year. He can play 30 to 50. Moon Knight, he's playing more 30. In June, he was playing more 50. He was Space Daddy in June. But you watch him; he can play about a 20-year age range from 30 to 50. Like Poe Dameron is 30.
Yeah,
the character in Moon Knight's about 30. His character in June is 40s to 50s. And it's basically he's a facial hair actor. It's like if he's clean shaven, he looks very young. But if he grows a beard, he has gravitas, or even if just a stubble, he has gravitas.
To answer Salumi's question, I could not finish the first episode. I just couldn't. It just wasn't grabbing me. It just the humor was just too slow.
Yeah,
It just
it's
was
weird. Our flag means death is actually more about character development than ha laughs. I've watched about
yeah.
4 episodes, and they've
Yep.
advanced character development. It's like, oh, I'm actually quite interested in the characters now. This hasn't been a
Okay.
slap the thigh, that's hilarious comedy, but I get a couple good laughs out of each episode.
Okay.
But they're really doing some quite interesting character development
Sure.
by the time. But I completely understand where you're coming from when you said you couldn't even watch
Yep.
episode. Oh, well, yeah, this is not. It's not my favorite comedy. I haven't sat there going, "This is
Yeah.
the funniest thing I've ever seen."
I just like I don't know if I'm like negatively affected by YouTube and social media, and my attention span is less than a goldfish now. But I just found it's really slow, and the humor just like didn't land a lot, and it was yeah, it was a bit dry for me.
I completely understand where you're coming from. It isn't
Yep.
as funny as What We Do in the Shadows or Wellington Paranormal,
Which was great. Yeah.
And watching the most recent series of Wellington Paranormals on SBS, or Watch on Demand at the moment. So I've been watching that.
Yeah.
And yeah, Our Flag Means Death is not as funny as Wellington
Okay.
Paranormal or What Do in the Shadows. But I've been very interested with the character development they've reached by about 4. It's like, okay, now I want to know what happens. Because Blackbeard comes in, like, spoiler alert, it takes to about 4 episodes for him to be revealed. But Blackbeard is Taika Waititi.
Yeah. I know that much. I've seen
Yeah.
some stills of that. It
So,
got
yeah.
spoiled.
But yeah,
And they mention him way too many times in
Yeah.
what I have seen for me not to know that he would appear.
Oh, what the hell is this? I've been getting so many fucking spam texts the last couple. Like, Telstra just announced we've come up with a way to lock them all together. And since they've said that,
No.
I've got more than ever. This one,
Yep.
a new device was registered under your account. If you did not make this change, please visit
Yeah.
PayPal-user-transaction.
Oh, yeah.
That seems legit. I should follow that URL and put my PayPal login.
Oh, yeah. I got one yesterday. We tried to reach you on, and then my number.
Yeah.
To give you this surprise, and then weird URL.
Yeah. A pretty good threatening spam email I got on one of my lesser used email accounts was, you've been compromised. You have to pay us, or we're going to do this. And then I went, and I know one of your passwords is, and they gave a password I used to use 15 years ago. So I obviously used it 15 years ago on a site that has since been compromised. And I went,
yeah,
okay, kudos to you. This is actually a pretty good spam message, because I did indeed use that password 15 years ago. I haven't used it since then. But for some people who don't change passwords and whatnot, I would see that and freak the fuck out. And this was
to the people who use the same password for every site, you wouldn't even know which site was compromised.
Yeah, so that was a pretty good spam message. Also, the other one about, oh, I've got video of you whacking off because I hacked your thing. They're like, ha, more for you. I never watch porn on a computer that's got a camera on it. I know I don't do that because I'm not a fucking idiot. But also, hilariously, a guy I know, and AZ and I actually made a video about it. This was years back, but he full on, got, I don't know what you'd call it, whether it's fished or catfished or whatever, but he was on a site where a hottie went like, "Hey, stud, I want to talk sexy with you on camera," and she's like, and so there was an actual woman on a camera doing nude, and it's like, "Whip your dick
That's
out,"
cats. Yeah.
and then saying,
Oh,
"I
hang on, that's
recorded
not
that."
cats.
And no, yeah, it's a weird. It's not really
Yeah, that's
catfishing. It's a weird hybrid
yeah.
thing. But then she goes, "Okay, I recorded that, and I've also hacked your thing, so I know everyone in your contact list. If you don't send me X money, I'll send the video of you whacking off to everyone in your contact list." And so Aizy and I had to say to him, like, "Man, just fucking roll with it for reals."
Yeah.
It's like, honestly, a hot chick said, "I'm going to take my gear off and masturbate on camera if you take your gear off and masturbate on camera." And I'd be like,
Yeah.
I'd break the sad news to my contacts. Honestly,
Yeah.
that seemed like a good deal to me, so I did it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
advance
I,
apologies if you get a video of me cranking it, but that was the
Yep.
thing that happened.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone's agreeing
Yeah.
it's
It
blackmail.
just yeah, well, I mean, yeah, it is, but is it a specific type?
Hmm.
I guess it's just blackmail. Yeah, just good
Hmm.
old fashioned.
Yeah, but he
Yeah, it
wanted
just
to
proves
know.
you're human and have
Yep.
human brain.
He was freaking out and going, "Oh, it's going to ruin my life." Like, dude, it's not going to ruin your life because no one in your contact list wants to watch a video of you whacking off. Okay.
Yeah.
So if they get a message saying, "Here's a video of John whacking off," they're just going to go, "No, thank you,
Yeah.
no."
Or even if it's called something else and they see it, they're going to turn it off immediately and go, "Oh, what the fuck?" And that's it.
No, it's like,
And that
man, dude,
you'll have an awkward conversation, and
yeah,
then they will want to forget about it.
yeah. It would be awkward
Yes.
for a moment, then everyone wants to forget about it. And it's like, dude,
Yes.
how did she get you on? Oh, she sent me sexy photos. Like, dude, if people say, "What the fuck," just share the sexy photos. And when I'm sorry, this woman got naked on
Yeah.
webcam for me. So
Do you
honestly,
blame
yeah,
me?
I got
Yeah.
naked too and whacked off. And he was like, "We're not joking, dude. You think we're being silly, but seriously, just fucking roll
Yeah.
with it, man. Just fucking roll with it." And
Yep.
like,
Yep. Yep. Hey, I'm gonna zone out for a little bit, like 5-10
do
minutes.
it.
Just gonna
Do it. Yeah.
shut down for a bit.
Yep. You do that.
But yep, I'm still here.
So
I'll just gonna.
yeah, Salumi. No, this dude, yeah, he was an adult, so it's not breaking up. But yeah, it's just like whatever. Yes, Megaleech, that would be the fun thing. Long lost acquaintances want to get back in touch because they saw a video of you whacking it. It's like, yeah, okay, you're a sick fuck. I'm a sick fuck. Let's hook up and do some shit. But yeah, it was really funny with him. He was so upset. It's like, dude, honestly, the reason you did it is because she was a hottie. And no, I don't want to be super judgmental of my friend.
Good night,
Sorry.
Salumi.
No, Salumi.
Salumi, sleep
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I don't want to be. Yeah, and also, Salumi, we're remembering the brat stuff. Okay. Yep. You come to Melbourne.
Oh yeah,
Spanking.
Yep.
And I know that's why you did it.
definitely.
But,
I will be putting you across my knee.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing
There
that's
will
going to
be
happen.
spanking.
Yeah.
I may even tie you up and.
Yeah. All these things. All these things.
Yes, I have rope.
Yeah. So it's really
Good
funny
night.
again because this friend of Ace's mine, he thought we were being sarcastic when we said, "Yeah, no, man, just fucking do it, embrace it." Oh, so Sloomy, you think we're joking? Okay,
You have no idea.
You're gonna find out. I'm just saying, you're gonna find out. But yeah, this guy, he thought we were joking and was like, "Dude, fucking embrace it." You literally like they sent you pictures and they were a hottie, and I don't want to be too judgmental of my friend, but he was not a hottie. It's like, dude. Seriously, you showed people pictures of the person who was getting naked for you. And they're going, "Oh, yeah. No, you wanted to whack it to them getting naked." I completely understand. Again, people will either completely understand or they're not people you want in your life, quite honestly. It's just like, seriously, if I got an email that said either a friend, acquaintance of mine, a family member, whatever, oh no, here's a video of this person whacking off, and I'm like, okay, I'm not watching that. What the fuck? So the fear element, and the fear is real, and I understand why people are worried about it and they think it's going to fuck their life up. And yeah, it would certainly be embarrassing if everyone you work with was send a thing saying, here's a video of Andrew whacking off. But I also feel kind of confident no one I work with if anyone I work with got a video going, here's your workmate whacking off, they would just be like, no thank you, no. And I would just go, yeah, it wasn't real. There's no video. It's just spam. And they go, yeah, I thought so. But if anyone watched it and said, no, I know it was real, it's like, dude, okay, you tell everyone else that you watched a video of me whacking off. Go ahead, say it. Go tell everyone we work with you watched a video of me whacking off. But yeah, it's a real and weird thing. So and a big chip.
Mm.
You inspired me with your chips. I'm chunky. Because I just love that as a name, chunky. Yeah, that's me. I'm chunky. I'm having chunky chips.
Chunky chips, eh?
Because I'm Mr. Chunky Chips. Well, oh yeah. See, Salumi, if you come to Melbourne and we take you out to bars in Melbourne, they're all down sneaky back alleys. There's a reason we're taking you down sneaky back alleys. That's all I'm saying. Okay. I think I might taste my freezer martini because it tasted too bitter. I think I need to change the makeup of what it is. Oh, nice! We're tempting Megaleech with chips, but he's actually close to a major. Sorry. Stuff I don't know. That came from Cole. I think it came from Coles. The chunky chips were like half price this week. That's why I've got them.
I have lost 15 kilos since for like over 2 months.
That's good.
If
you come to Melbourne, I'll take you out to bars and stuff like last time. You might to get see AIDSy try and pick up a waiter again, and sit there burnishing his nails, going, "Daddy's still got it," when he gets another phone number. But I was kind of tempted to go out this week because it was cocktail week in Melbourne and there are all these special events and a lot of them sounded really good. I was like, yeah, I can't be fucked going out, honestly.
No. Right. Thank you, Megaleech. I appreciate that feedback.
Oh, nice. And yeah, Safa, we had fun hanging out last time. So if and when we do another hangout day, we'll have fun again. Not doing it so much. It's kind of like, because the last time when I was there with Safa, it was supposed to be a YouTube meetup, and because I was, running these YouTube groups on Facebook, it's like, man, you do something and you put yourself out to try and organize an event for people, and then no fucker shows up, and it's just like, I'm over it. I'm actually really fucking over it, and don't care. So yeah, so it was cocktail week this week. Didn't actually go out. I've just been staying at home and having cocktails. I did post my gin and tonic cocktail. I did the taste set from Brogan's Way because okay, so Dr. Abigail, you and me and Nettie went to Brogan's Way, and I've since been to Brogan's Way with Mrs. Angry as well. We had a good Sunday afternoon there. It's a great venue, nice drinks and nice food. They still had the barrel roll, barrel aged cocktail.
Oh, nice!
I thought it would all be gone, and we're ordering a drink and one second drink, and I looked at the thing and I went, is the barrel roll cocktail still here? And they're like, barrel. So Mrs. Angry, got to get a barrel roll. This is friggin' amazing. This is an amazing cocktail.
Yeah.
Um,
Hi, Celtic.
Hey, Celtic. And yeah, Safa, it was cheaper cocktails and some special events. There was a thing you could go to where a bunch of high-end venues had a special cocktail for $15 and whatnot. And there were all these master classes and shit. And there's a whole bunch of them. I looked at them and went, that sounds cool. I'd like to do that. But it's like, yeah, that also involves leaving the house and doing
True
shit,
that.
so, yeah, I'm going to stay at home. So, yeah, so the barrel roll, I mentioned, okay, I feel like saying because it was really good. There's a distillery in Richmond that I'd been meaning to go to for ages and finally went there, I don't know, it was a month or two ago with Abigail and Nettie, and it was really good. And they make gin in this distillery. And on top of all the normal cocktails, they had this one where they're like, their head distiller said, I made a barrel aged cocktail. He basically made a cocktail that was inspired by a classic cocktail called the Aviation, which is a gin cocktail. And then he
Thus
put it
the
in a
name
barrel.
barrel roll.
Yeah. So it was a joke about aviation, flying, and it's in a barrel and it's a twist on an aviation. So it's a barrel roll. So I actually, of my 3 barrels up there, one of them has a cocktail inspired by Brogan's Way barrel roll. So sometime it's been there for about a week now. I plan to leave it for 4 weeks. So Angry's barrel roll will be getting unveiled sometime in the next couple of weeks.
Is that enough time?
Yeah, 4 weeks. I looked up a few guides online and they were like, 4 weeks is a good amount of time to barrel age a cocktail,
Okay.
particularly with a little 1 liter barrel, because it's
Yeah.
like all the contact with the surface.
Oh, because surface area to volume ratio.
Yeah.
Yep.
So our man in Brogan's Way did it in a really fucking big barrel, and I think he left
Yeah,
it for
so it'd need more time. Yep. Megaleech has a very valid question. Does it use Ryan Reynolds' aviation gin? Because that would be on point.
Yeah, that would also be in theme, but no, because I just support local gins. Also, apparently aviation is a completely reasonable gin, but I love how Ryan Reynolds keeps putting fucking ads for it in the movie. The last one I watched was the sequel to the Hitman's Bodyguard, the one he did with Samuel Jackson. It's called The Hitman's Bodyguard's Wife. It's got Salma Hayek playing a bigger role in it. It's super stupid. Like, it's an extremely stupid movie. But if you
I haven't seen either of those.
Oh, if you embrace the stupid, it's really fun.
Yep.
But there's one bit where he's in a nightclub and he's fighting with bad guys, and he picks up a bottle of aviation, and it's very clearly framed right to the camera. He picks up a bottle of aviation gin and smashes it over a bad guy's head. And I just got the giggles. I'm watching it with Mrs. Egg. We go, that was just a blatant ad for aviation gin. That's hilarious. And 30 seconds later, he throws a guy into a wall display, which is an entire wall of aviation gin. And I just thought, at this point, this is just hilarious that he's so blatantly putting.
They must be paying him a fortune.
Aviation, apparently the deal is, and even made a joke video about this on YouTube, because aviation got bought by a big distiller, and it's worth literally hundreds of millions of dollars to him. But he's part of his contract was staying on as the spokesperson for aviation for 2 or 3 years. And if he does that, and it's still viable at the end of that 2 or 3 years, the deal's worth hundreds of millions of dollars to him.
Okay.
And so he actually made
paid per mention or something.
Kinda. He made a video on YouTube where he apologized for telling everyone in his life to fuck off because the payoff actually doesn't come for a couple of years. So he wants to stay on everyone's good side for another couple of years till the payoff comes. It was just really, it was hilarious because he's just being really blatant. Like, I put my name on this to make a fuckload of money. I have now signed a deal to make a fuckload of money, and I need to dance like a monkey for 2 more years to make. It's for $200 million. I'm going to dance like a monkey for a couple of years for $200 million.
Yep.
And he's just really explicit about it, which I find really
Yeah.
funny. Oh my god! So if it was a Boston TV show, was that the 2 girls, 1 guy, and a pizza joint or whatever? That was the first. There was a sitcom he was in like 20 years ago. It was the first thing that brought him to prominence. But yeah, I saw there's like a headline because he plays the same character in every movie he's in.
Yeah, but
That's more
he's a good character.
Yeah,
It's
I saw
just
a headline.
I can't get enough.
Yeah, there was some media thing with a headline saying Ryan Reynolds fans are sick of him playing the same character in every movie, and someone used it as a meme, like a screenshot of that with text over the top going, "No, the fuck we are not." And,
Yep, I can get behind that sentiment.
yeah,
because
it's like,
I'm a bona fide Ryan Reynolds fan.
I just think he's funny. He also, I'm kind of on board with him because he did the first kind of Gen X midlife crisis movie. I even forget what it was, but it was from quite a few years ago. It's when he was in his mid 30s, and it was about, do I settle down? And he's dating, like he's a single Gen X dude in his 30s because this was 10 years ago, and he's dating one just super hottie and one, average, which, is a hottie. It's just a Hollywood version of average, which means a hottie. But she's a single mum. And it's like, do I see myself as being a dad to this kid this woman has, or do I just go for like the swimsuit model thing? So it was like the first Gen X midlife crisis movie,
Okay.
which I thought was really, and I've forgotten what it's called. And let's do actually. I feel like doing an online search with those search terms. Go Ryan Reynolds Gen
What
X mid
year was it?
about 10 years ago. Like it was a few years ago. So I just did a search. Gen X midlife crisis movie. Yes, it was Selfless. Yes, that's what it was. 2015, so it wasn't that long ago. No, that wasn't it. That literally was not it. That is completely wrong. Shut up. Green Lantern. It's not Green Lantern. Okay, I'll just look up Ryan Reynolds' filmography and I'll probably remember it. Ryan Reynolds films. Okay. Where are we? Okay. His filmography on Wikipedia.
Was it the Change Up?
Let me see. I'm going back. What are we? Most recently, movies. 2019, 2016. Criminal, Deadpool. Oh, no, it was called Life. I think it was just called Life. No. That was a sci-fi. That wasn't it.
Yeah, that was like horror sci-fi.
Yeah.
Was it the Change Up?
Let's have a look. Yes, it was the Change Up. Yes.
2011.
Yeah. So, 10 years. I thought it was about 10 years old. And I remember the reviews at the time were sort of laughing. It's like, oh my God, we've got the first Gen X midlife crisis movie. And that's basically what it was. Yeah. Yeah. It was called The Change Up.
Yeah.
And it was not bad.
Jason
It was actually
Bateman.
not bad. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's fucking a rom-com and with all the fucking shortcomings that suggests. But it was not bad. And yeah, just as a laugh of being the first Gen X midlife crisis movie, it's pretty funny.
Yeah. Have you watched Buried?
I love Barry. I think Barry's great.
Oh, no, Buried.
Oh, sorry, Buried. What was Buried?
Ryan Reynolds is buried alive in a coffin with a torch.
Oh.
And a cell phone. Oh, sorry, a lighter and a cell phone. I haven't watched it. The trailer is claustrophobic as fuck. Yeah, that just hits all my worst
that sounds like
nightmare.
something you don't want to watch. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the premise is he's a truck driver, he's a US truck driver working in Iraq. After an attack by a group of Iraqis, he wakes up to find he's buried alive inside a coffin, with only a lighter and a cell phone. It's a race against time to escape this claustrophobic death trap.
Oh my god, that actually sounds really stressful.
Yeah, I'm gonna nope right out of that one.
Yeah. Oh, Strictly Sega watched the old Peter Jackson, and not by old, I mean like 20, 30 years old. It was the film he did before Lord of the Rings.
Oh, Heavenly Creatures is so good. Oh,
Very
yeah.
Good. Inspired
there's
by
a director's cut of it. Yes. The director's cut is really good too. It's just got some extra scenes in it. Yeah, it's really good. And I have a crush on both of them in that. That was
Bottom Carter.
Yes. What Heavenly Creatures? What were their names? Sorry.
Oh god, I don't remember. Oh, you mean the actors?
Yeah.
I know it was Helena Bonham Carter, and I don't remember who the other.
No, it wasn't Helena Bonham Carter.
Wasn't it?
No.
Oh, look it up.
No.
Yeah.
No. It's Kate Winslet and Melanie Linsky.
There you go.
Yeah,
Kate
Winslet can just
get it.
like yeah. She could just look sideways and I'd collapse with the knees. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Whew.
There you go. Yeah, no, I forgot. But yeah,
Yeah.
and that was inspired by a true story about these two
Certainly
friends
was.
who murdered their parents.
Yeah. New Zealand, yeah.
Yeah. But that was the last film he made before Lord of the Rings, I think. He also made The Frighteners.
It was, yeah. Yeah, it was like a schlock horror director.
The Frighteners
And then he
was
made
fucking brilliant.
and then he made Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And it's like one of the best movies ever. Like even for non-Lord of the Rings fans, like it's
it's an exceptional piece of filmmaking. Anyone who can't acknowledge it's an amazing piece of filmmaking.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, Heavenly Creatures was so good.
Yeah. His first couple, like, whether it was Bad Taste and there were two real schlocky, gory sci-fi horror films he made on zero budget. And they were amazing. Then he made a really debauched puppet film called Meet the Feebles, which is absolutely hilarious.
Yes.
It's fucked. It is so fucked. If you think like the South Park guys did bad things with puppets, no, they didn't. 30 years earlier, Peter Jackson did it with a film called Strictly Saying, yes, Brain Dead. That was his other one. So his real schlocky, gross sci-fi films were Bad Taste and Brain Dead. Bad Taste was sci-fi. Brain Dead was zombie. Meet the Feebles was hilarious. Then he did The Frighteners and Heavenly Creatures. The Frighteners had Michael J. Fox in it, and it's a really good film. It's a really good ghost.
I sort of remember watching that at the time.
Yeah. Michael J. Fox is a guy who basically has sensitivity and he can see ghosts, and he uses that to scam people.
Yeah.
but he can genuinely see angry spirit, and then a particularly angry spirit comes looking for him. But it's really good. And then he did Lord of the Rings, which is just amazing.
Yes.
Just amazing. Yeah. So strictly saying, you watched Meet the Feebles in year 8. School kids were talking about the animals having sex. Yeah, no, Meet the Feebles. Meet the Feebles is very
I
fucked.
haven't watched it. I've heard about it. But
It's super fucked. Like this one character is like the stage manager is this degenerate rat who keeps talking about like the show's going off. I need to save the show. I'll do my song. And they're like, fuck no, never ever do your song again. Don't. It's the worst. And so there's this whole build up to what is his song? And he does eventually do it. And it's about sodomizing Boy Scouts. And it's the worst. It's like it's the fucking worst. Like you think they build it up so much, you go, it can't be as bad as they're building it up to. And it is literally about him sodomizing Boy Scouts. And you just go, that's the worst.
Oh
That is,
dear.
what the fuck?
Okay.
But also he's like this degenerate rat who probably has syphilis or whatever. It's just like, yeah. One of the characters has PTSD and is shooting up heroin the whole time, and
Nice.
but yes,
Okay.
it's very messed up, very funny. Early Peter Jackson is hilarious compared to the huge budgets he got to work with on the Lord of the Rings and subsequent films. And I'm disappointed because he was friends with the South African director Neil Blomkamp, who's made a couple of
cool.
good sci-fis. And what's hilarious to me with Neil Blomkamp films is he keeps setting up for sequels that then don't get like it's a good film, critically reviewed well, that makes money, and he's set up for a sequel, and then they don't make
and then it doesn't happen. Yep.
It's like District 13 or whatever the fuck it was.
District 9.
District 9 was set up for District 10, and they didn't make it. And Chappie, the robot one, was set up for a sequel. Oh, there we go.
Yep.
Okay, we got to get that out soon. In the next week or two, we've got to shoot a May the 4th video.
Oh yeah, cool.
Get it done ready, rather than leaving it to the last minute. But I keep hearing rumors
like last time.
No, the last one was good. It was one of my most popular videos from the last couple months.
Oh, which one? The Star Trek one?
The Star Trek one was hugely popular. Got way more views. No, that was really well received. And I liked it. Importantly, I liked it. So I was like, nah.
Okay.
I keep hearing rumors there is going to be a District 10. Apparently, studios have been saying to Neil Blomkamp, like, yeah, we'll make it. And he's just been distracted by other things. But apparently he has done a treatment for District 10.
Okay. I still want to see fucking Rendezvous with Rama as a movie.
Either a movie or a streaming show where one season is equal to books.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But they should do that for Lensman as well, and they should do that for Asimov's robot stories. Each of those robot short stories.
Well, they're doing Foundation.
Yeah.
They should have done the robot stories starting with Caves of Steel, because that's when the novels start. Before that, it was all the short stories just collaborated together in book form. But Caves of Steel is when the story started.
I'd hope they do it chronologically.
And so they should have started with that, because Foundation is like thousands of years in the future of the same galaxy as the robot novels. So but anyway, Foundation's one of the most seminal pivotal
Yeah.
science fiction stories of our time.
Yeah.
Almost every science fiction space opera draws inspiration from Foundation, including Star Wars.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I
like
think
without a doubt.
there must be discussions behind closed doors about adapting all of these series, because you look at it
Mm,
and they're just going, they're progressively just trying to adapt every book series and every comic series. New ones come out
yeah,
every couple of months, and some of them are okay and some of them not. But yeah, I'm
yeah.
sure there are conversations with whoever owns the rights at the moment to, yeah, we should do
I'd
a
love to see. I'd love to
10
see a Lensman show. Maybe with less
less fascism.
less fascism, perhaps.
Mm.
Yeah.
I
Um,
bet. Oh, I bet if they made a Lensman series, they wouldn't have the good guys be quite so genocidal. Like they wouldn't. The good guys would not use a weapon that throws a planet through
Planet. Yeah.
and destroys an
I mean,
entire.
reading it looked awesome.
Yeah,
It fucking blew my mind when I read it.
Yeah.
But I mean, they were killing bad guys.
Yeah,
I mean,
but they were also exterminating all life on a planet.
it was privately owned planet. Like,
I think if they could go
wasn't
to the trouble of making, like, this is like the Death Star. This is populated solely
mm,
by soldiers, bad guys. There's no flora, there's no fauna, there is no civilian. They built a military base on this desolate moon or planet, and we are destroying this
yeah.
entire thing. And because the idea of
Throw
destroying
large
an
moons
entire planet, because there's a
just
few
to get
people on
one
it.
organization. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
it's like,
bit
no.
extreme, but it also kicked my like my teenage ass got kicked reading that. I just blew
Yeah.
me away.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
And it was also kind of obsessed with male and female gender roles. They could manage to lose that in any adaptation, because the obsession.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
with
they'd have to bring it into the present.
But yeah, I also like
I really liked like the part where like humans were like being subjugated by this alien that just didn't even see humans as like intelligent, and when they stopped, it was because they realized we'd developed this technology that they could never figure out. And it's like, oh shit, fuck, they're kicking our ass now. Like, and it was some warp drive that they couldn't figure out how to do, and suddenly we had this tactical advantage. And yeah, that was pretty cool. And the whole idea around the lenses, like, yeah. But anyway, I'm fangirling over a book series now.
There is some fun stuff with politics and the way politicians lie and whatnot, because there were humans.
Go on, sorry, I cut you off.
I was going to say, because there were humans who were the agents of this malevolent force, and they were in politics, and they were using standard political tricks to try and get people to mistrust the Lensmen. But
who were like a galactic police force.
Yeah. So there were. Sorry,
go on.
ahead.
Oh, it's just I never understood
high-level alien races.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like ancient alien races. Yeah. I never understood why he didn't use the name Earth for Earth. He called Earth Tellus. Tellus. And I don't know where the root word is from. I like it. Just
Oh,
to this day, like, is it
I think he was
Latin?
just trying. He's been funky sci-fi. I always took that
Oh, okay.
he's gone like. I think he
He
took
just
it from
made up
Terra.
words.
He took it.
Oh,
He
okay.
completely. I'd always take it. He just completely made up that name based on Terra, the Latin for Earth.
Okay.
I
But
just thought
it's
that's been funky sci-fi stuff from the mid 20th century.
okay. Fair enough.
Mm. Oh, nice. Rottweiler dude's playing a Pharisee in the church play. You're making me flashback to hearing
What's
the
a
original
Pharisee?
a high priest in the Jewish church.
Okay.
They're the ones who condemn Jesus. You're just making me flashback to the
Ah, okay.
1970s original cast recording of Jesus Christ
JC.
Superstar
Yeah.
that I heard
Cool.
1,000 times because my older siblings had it. Had the characters called the Pharisees who were plotting against Jesus the whole time.
What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the
Yes.
buzz? Tell me what's happening.
Every now and then I feel I might just listen to that today. And I've checked and it's on YouTube Music. I actually did a search.
Yeah.
Is original cast recording of Jesus Christ Superstar available? And they're like, yep, you can listen to the whole thing if you want. I went, no. Okay, one day I might just want to re-listen to this thing that I listened to 1,000 times as a kid. And I still remember more than 50% of the lyrics because I haven't
Yeah.
heard it properly since, I don't know, the early 80s, but it was played so many times. Most
I
of the lyrics
remember
stick in my head.
my parents taking me to the Australian production of
Mhm.
JC Superstar with John
Mhm.
Farnham and
John English?
Kate Sobrano.
Mhm.
Was it John English?
Oh,
I
no,
don't think
I
it was
think
John.
Johnny
No,
Farnham was Jesus and John English was Judas when he was in it.
no, it was John Farnham was Jesus and um, Angry Anderson was King Herod.
Anyway,
No, it was the dude from In Excess.
the guy who replaced Michael Hutchence was Judas.
Yeah, John
Yeah,
Stevens.
John
Thank you,
Stevens,
Strictly
that's it.
Sega. Yeah, John Stevens was Judas. So of course, teenage me was obsessed with it after that, and I bought it on cassette, then CD, and
Mm,
listened to it heaps and blah blah blah. So
mm.
that's. But I recently watched during lockdown. There was a YouTube channel that started doing free viewings of like stage shows,
Oh,
and
yes, yes, yes.
they did JC Superstar, but the UK production
Mm,
with Mel B as Mary Magdalene and Tim Minchin as Judas, and
mm,
some guy I didn't know as Jesus, which
mm,
was pretty good. I enjoyed it, but then they also had Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds original cast
mm.
stage show, which fucking blew my mind. I had goosebumps the whole time. They did Phantom of the Opera, which I had never seen, and oh my god,
Mm.
it was awesome. They did um, Les Mis, the 30th anniversary, which
Okay.
again, oh, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Way better than the movie. The Russell
Yeah.
Crowe slash because there were
Yeah.
some weird directorial choices with the movie.
I didn't see it. So I
Ju-
don't know.
Oh, look, it was okay, but for some reason, they had the people singing the songs on set, which for a musical is never done. They sing it in a studio
Yeah.
where they can record it better. Whereas when you're on set, it's shit. Like it sounds shit. And then like people like fucking Hugh Jackson fucking method acting this guy who's dehydrated, which is the
Yeah.
worst condition to be singing in.
Yes, if you're
And
dehydrated, very hard to sing.
yeah, so yeah, it was just some weird directorial choices with that movie.
Right.
But the stage show was great, and I got to watch it on YouTube for free. And yeah, so they had some other musicals during the lockdown, but they only had it available for a week, so
Yeah.
you had to like watch it. And when it was like when they first posted it up, you could live chat with like they had a live chat going, so it was streamed, and then you could just play it back. So
Mm.
it was really cool.
Yeah, I think Royal Shakespeare was doing that too, putting a lot of their
Oh, cool.
productions on YouTube for free during lockdown because
Yeah.
everyone was losing their
Yeah.
shit in 2020.
Yeah. Well, the art suffered a hell of a lot during lockdown.
Very
Everywhere.
much.
Everywhere that locked down, the arts and theatre suffered a huge blow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've
And
never seen the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra play.
not something I'm into.
I would kill someone to go see the MSO play. I don't even care what they're playing. I would.
Yeah.
I just want to. Yeah. Yeah. It's something I really want to do, but I just can't afford it. It's in summer. They do free concerts at the Sydney Maya Music Bowl, but social anxiety always gets the better of me.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I guess I've never put it out there to ask people if someone wants to like be a support person and go with me.
Yeah.
I'd love to see them do a concert. I don't even care what it is, but they've done like a sci-fi concert. They've done music like what's the word soundtrack to movie concerts. They've done Mozart and all the classics and
I've seen they do special events here, like a Star Wars event, Harry
Yeah.
Potter. There was a Doctor Who one that actually looks kind of cool.
yeah. I've seen Philip Glass do a live performance because he's a what do you call him, with the baton music person, conductor. Thank you. I just had brain fog massively then.
Yeah, no, I know that
Philip Glass conducting an orchestra to time with Koyona Squatzy playing at the Astor Theatre.
Oh wow,
that was cool. That was so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I mean, you watch that just to listen to it, really.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. As far as non-narrative documentaries go, that one's the most least watchable, I guess.
Yeah, I've got that trilogy on disc: Koyaanisqatsi, Powakatsi, and Nakoyakatsi.
Yep. I couldn't finish the second one. Yeah, in Minecraft.
In watching them in Minecraft, yeah.
We could order Minecraft pizza and watch that. Yeah.
The fun one, I saw Powakatsi in a cinema, the Valhalla in Sydney, back when I was living in Sydney. And I was really tired the night it was on. I wasn't on anything, I was just really tired. And because it's so hypnotic and dreamy, because it's just images and Philip Glass, I would drift off and my eyes would close and my eyes would open. And of course, whatever was on the screen when my eyes opened was completely unrelated to what was on the screen when my eyes closed, whether I'd had my eyes closed for 2 seconds or 2 minutes. And so I would drift and then open and go, Jesus, how long were my eyes closed?
No way to tell time.
Yeah. It was very weird to watch that movie in a cinema completely straight, but very tired.
Yeah.
It
Well,
was, it
that's
was
a
very
whole different experience.
yeah, very dreamlike
I
watching it all while very tired.
I remember going to a 24-hour movie marathon that was a sci-fi movie marathon. I was 18 and I made the critical mistake of drinking too much Jolt Cola the night before
Oof,
and not sleeping,
oof.
and then drinking way too much Jolt Cola during the marathon and not sleeping.
Yeah,
And so I was awake essentially for 48 hours.
yeah, and your
And
brain would
one
have
of
been
the,
really addled.
oh God. So one of the movies they played was The Abyss,
Oh yeah, that's
which
a
was a
good.
great movie.
Yeah,
But I was so out of it that I did not even notice that they had accidentally swapped two of the film reels of
real.
The Abyss.
I'm doing it out of sequence. Oh
and
god,
it was yeah, lots of people in the theater did, but
but
not
you didn't.
everyone. And I was one of them.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh dear. Oh dear.
I know.
Uh,
Mm,
yeah, I've been in a few
oh
things
yeah.
where it's like 24-hour film marathon, and people go, "That's fun. Let's do that." And I went, "It's going to stop being fun at about hour 5." I'm just telling you now. No matter
Yeah,
how good the films are, at about the 5-hour mark, you're not going to be able to deal with it anymore. And it's just like, so don't have your heart set on seeing all the movies. Just go in for a while till you can't take it anymore, then go out again. And
yeah.
Mikulich wants to know if you got your money back.
Oh, no. No. It didn't cost much, and the theater was the Valhalla Theater here in Melbourne,
Yeah.
and it was a final goodbye before they tore it down.
Okay. One of the
So
last
they
films.
didn't even care that we were trashing the seats, and everyone brought silly string and
Oh
flinging
wow, because it was literally being
fucking.
demolished. Yeah.
Well, we were like throwing Maltesers everywhere. I mean, they did care, but because they had a couple of other screenings after us, but
Yeah.
like, yeah, they didn't care a lot.
They didn't care a lot.
They were a bit miffed rather than they were a bit miffed rather than actually kicking us out. And the
Yeah.
tickets weren't that much. I think it was like $10 for a
Okay.
24-hour thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even doing a cinema marathon of extended Lord of the Rings, which some of the art house cinemas do from time to time, that's a pretty big investment of your time. That's like 10 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, I do that here at home.
Yeah. Yeah. At home's one thing, but
Yeah. Because when you're in a theater, that's a whole ball game because you are in a seat and that's it. You can't like tune out and do whatever while it's playing. You can't. Yeah, you have to like commit.
Yeah, that's a bit intense for me.
Yeah.
Committing to 10 hours in a cinema is a bit much.
Yeah.
But, it's kind of like the joke I've seen. Hey kids, do you want to watch a 10-hour movie I made? Like, fuck off. What's wrong with you? Oh, okay. How about a 10 1-hour episode streaming series that I'm putting on at once and you can binge watch
Hell
in
yeah.
1 4-hour period? Oh, hell yeah. I'll do that.
Yeah. At least with then you can like decide to
Stop after
at
an
some.
episode.
Yeah.
I did notice, I saw an article about someone bemoaning because the streaming services, because they're having a lot of success with telling a story over a whole season. They're bemoaning, standalone episodes of shows because it's like, oh, it was different. It's like, okay, A, times change, and B, I think you're looking at those single standalone episodes through rose-colored glasses because 99% of everything that's ever been on TV is shit.
Yeah. Old episodes of Doctor Who were painful to watch in binge watch mode.
Yeah.
There was a lot of
Yeah.
filler,
Oh,
but
Jesus.
when you had to wait an entire week, you would put up
Yeah.
with it.
Exactly. It is a very different viewing experience. Yeah, the number of whenever I run against someone who wants to defend the classic series as opposed to the new ones, it's like, okay, no, fuck off. A lot of the story ideas were good and interesting, but broadly speaking, the writing was bad, the acting was terrible, and the sets were shithouse. Okay,
Yeah.
so and there was never
They
any
were on a
consequences.
tight budget.
There
Yeah.
was and there was also never any consequences for anything the Doctor did. And I loved the thing they did from the first season, the Chris Eccleston season, the first episode, the Rose series, when she finds the weird conspiracy theorist who's been tracking down information about the Doctor, and he just says, when the Doctor appears, people die. Because that was the thing that always happened in the classic
Yep.
series. At least 90% of the incidental characters would fucking die. And,
and like that's like when Adric died in the
yeah, that was a
classic
big one.
series.
An actual companion.
That was huge. At like a companion to like, I mean, we've had them walk off before, but to have them actually die was just huge.
Yeah, that was intense.
But at least he took out the dinosaurs with him.
Yes. And he died being a dickhead, which was hilarious. The reason he stayed there is, no, I can solve the problem, and didn't abandon ship. And it was like, you're dying because you're a dickhead. Okay.
Well, you know, that maths prize that he wore with like a badge of honor.
The badge, yeah, that was, and even symbolically he broke it because it was gold backed, and
gold, with the
could be fucked up by gold.
Which is like odd that they kind of dropped that like a lead balloon in the new series.
They said it in one thing. Again, because being a mad thing,
they've mentioned it. Blink and you miss it moment.
Yeah, it's they have said non-corrosive metals, if it gets into their system, will fuck them up because it'll block up, and that was apparently why gold fucked them up, because it's non-corrosive and got into their ventilators. But I'd much prefer what they've done with Cybermen in the rebooted series compared to the old one, because it's just a little bit more interesting.
I really liked the one with the ship, the giant ship near the black hole.
Oh yeah, and the gravity was different, so time flowed differently.
Yeah.
So you had the different generations of Cybermen on different decks of the ship because they were separated.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was
and
good.
Bill,
and also the fact that they
Potts.
fucked up Bill Potts with that. That was
intense. Yeah. I was
Um,
kind of sorry to see Missy go.
Yeah, she was so much better than anyone else who's played the Master in the reboot. I didn't hate the people who've played the Master, but Missy was just next level. It was just that was so intense. She captured the insanity of the Master. Like, I'm going to kill people just because she's basically the Joker. I'm going to kill people because it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, she wasn't psychotic about it. She just did it. And in like she like I mean she kind of enjoyed it a bit, I guess.
Oh, she did. When she killed one of her own subordinates and said, "Say something nice to me," and he did. In his desperation, he tried to flatter her, and she's like, "Perfect," and then killed him.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, she wasn't over the top psychotic.
No, she wasn't over the top, but she was like low key Joker. She killed people because it was funny to kill them, and like when she killed Oz Whether it was the
Yeah.
human or the Zygon, we never knew.
Yes.
But when she did that, and it was just I don't have to, but it will fuck up the doctor big time if I do this. And it was just like,
Yeah,
Jesus,
that messed me
okay.
up. Yeah,
That was
that
pretty
really messed me up.
intense. And they even did a decent payoff because they did keep walking things back and going like, oh, look, see, the doctor sees Bill's spirit in another time. It's like he didn't really fail her. And the other one, what's her name, who was in love with Dave Tennant, and he was with no. She was the crossover. No, she was in love with Matt Smith and crossed over into Peter Capaldi. With the dark hair, the Impossible Girl.
Oh, Clara.
Yeah. Even with it's like she got killed, but then it's like, but then she's also suspended in this time bubble. And it's like, oh, you're copping out a bit, but you're released.
And but then we never see her again. Like
no, but so it was a half thing. It was like she can't leave this little time bubble.
She has a TARDIS in the shape of a 50s diner.
Yeah.
And a fucking immortal Viking girl.
Yeah.
But we never see her again.
Yeah. And so they kind of you had the tragedy.
Yeah.
But like, oh, but don't feel too bad because they still kind of sort of exist in a certain way.
I never understood that.
Oh, they were just, it was a minor cop out they were doing.
Timey-wimey stuff, yeah.
Timey-wimey. Oh my God. Sorry, it was just like in the 50th anniversary one where John Hurt was in it as the war doctor.
Timey-wimey?
It was hilarious because Matt Smith says it and John Hurt is just mortified. Why would you say something that dumb? And Dave Tennant goes,
yes,
I don't know where he gets it from.
Yeah.
The interaction with those doctors was both funny and poignant.
Yeah.
Like, again, the whole thing with how many people died when you destroyed Gallifrey, and Matt Smith says, I forget, and Dave Tennant is losing his shit and going, how can you forget that? Like, I counted them. And Matt Smith is like, I have actually lived several centuries beyond you and seen some fucked up shit. And you know what? At a certain point, you just drop your baggage. And it's just like...
Yeah,
but
check your baggage at the door.
Those doctors was quite good.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's one of my go-to kind of specials to watch, like just out of the blue if I'm feeling like it.
Yeah, and because, again, the capacity to be super cheesy with the 50th anniversary stuff was very high. They actually did. It wasn't flawless, but they did a pretty good job.
And seeing Tom Baker, oh my God, that was actually really good.
Oh, and I still hold hatred for whoever at the ABC, because, of course, they did show it very early in the morning at the same time it was showing in the UK. But then they had the primetime viewing just after the news, and the last thing they showed on the news was video of Tom Baker. And I was like, you fucking assholes. Why you showed that 30 seconds before it started? It's like, who the fuck did And I actually had a super angry fight with someone online and blocked them forever because I just went like, whoever did that at the ABC is a fucking piece of shit. And I got someone pontificating about, well, you should have got up at 6 o'clock in the morning to watch it. I went, get fucked, you rancid shit-eating loser. The idea of just before the primetime debut, someone without warning gives away a major spoiler is inexcusable. And the fact that you would argue against it at all means you're a piece of shit and I hate you and I need you out of my life. So I'm blocking you now. And it's just like, I will block people on a whim.
It's like you just don't do that. You don't spoil. Like, if a movie is currently still showing, you don't spoil it. Same thing, a TV show. fucking prime
You,
and
you
not
got to give
everyone can get up at 6 in the morning. They
yeah,
might have to
exactly.
work or
No,
whatever.
but
Like,
it's
fuck that guy.
again, if it was like I had accidentally stumbled upon a spoiler online, I would have kind of blamed myself and someone said, well, you
Yep.
could have watched it earlier. But for the ABC to broadcast a huge
Yes.
fucking spoiler 5 seconds before you started watching the primetime debut, that's
That's
inexcusable.
fucked.
That's just
Yeah.
inexcusable. That's fucked. But
Yeah, fuck that.
when someone tried to defend it, I was just like, you enrage me. You're a fucking steaming pile of shit. I'm blocking you because I just don't need someone as fucked as you in my life. I don't even
Yeah.
remember who they are. And it was just like some fucking rando tried to defend the ABC broadcasting a spoiler. And I went, fuck you. Just fuck you. And
Yep.
it was ridiculous. But yeah, you can't do spoilers. It's ridiculous. I even remember, because I'm old, sometimes movies and TV shows did not arrive here for
Oh,
many months
yeah.
or even a year or more after they broadcast in Europe or North America.
Yep.
Doesn't happen, but it used to happen. There'd be a huge delay. And one I remember was Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks didn't show here for like a year after it had been on. But also, we didn't have an internet at that point, so you didn't
Yeah.
actually see spoilers.
The chance of getting spoilt was very low.
Yeah, and although some cockhead writing a column in one of the newspapers did spoil it for me, Who Killed Laura? But I do remember seeing a funny thing in some office because Who Killed Laura Palmer? And it had already been
I
revealed.
still
in the
to
North.
this day have no idea who did. I'd never
Well,
watched it.
it wasn't important. And in fact, David Lynch was super ahead of his time. It was hilarious at the time when he said, like, the studio made me have a resolution at the end of season 1. They made me identify Laura's killer. And he said, in my head, Laura's killer would never be revealed. Agent Cooper would just be in this weird fucking mountain town forever.
Yeah.
And weird shit would just keep happening forever.
Okay.
You would never. And obviously, he was just about 10 years ahead of his time, because currently, if you just went to a studio and said, oh, yeah, I've got an idea for a TV show that can just keep going forever with no resolution.
Oh, yeah. Studios love that shit nowadays.
They
That's
love
how
it now.
Lost got made. Yeah.
Yeah, Lost was the first one. Lost was the first
Lost,
one where they just were like,
yeah.
we'll just keep
And
making up shit.
J.J. Abrams was the type of person who would go with that.
Yeah.
Like, he wanted to put like a lot more answers in there, but the
Yeah.
studio said, hang on, we can do something with this. And JJ was like, finger guns, like, let's do it.
Yeah.
And just let's just stretch this as far as it'll go.
Yeah. And it got to the stage when it became clear to the people making the show the studio just wanted to go on forever. They stopped planning anything. They're just like, hey, I just came up with an idea for a weird thing. Yeah, what does it mean?
Yep.
Nothing. I don't know. Yeah, who fucking cares? Throw it in. We will never explain it. We will never explain it.
Yeah. Is there a remaster or high def version of Twin Peaks?
Probably. There's probably like a 4K version of it on disc somewhere. Yeah.
Because at the time, I would not have understood it. I was just way too analytical and logical to have understood any of it. I mean, at the time, I had a housemate who was like an artist and like read poetry, and I read some poetry he'd posted on the fridge, and it just like weirded me out so much that I had to go read a technical journal, like just to feel normal.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But nowadays I could probably get into it.
Yeah. So that was literally a very old classic Simpsons episode from the early 90s when Twin Peaks was actually a movie Homer's watching Twin Peaks on TV. And of course, their animation was even weirder than was actually on Twin Peaks. And Homer's watching is like someone dancing with a deer and a traffic light hanging in the fog. And Homer goes, "This is genius. I have no idea what's happening." And
I mean, I probably wouldn't get it nowadays either.
no,
But
but it was as
yeah.
soon as you said that, I'm just seeing, yes, you're Homer Simpson looking at the screen going, "This is genius. I have no idea what's going on."
Yeah.
Oh. But yeah, no, the poor bloody David Lynch's problem. He was literally 10 years ahead of his time.
Mm.
And the studios refused. What? I'm not going to have this weird show that never answers the central question. Just weird shit keeps happening for years. That's crazy. I'm not doing that.
Imagine hating money.
I know. And it's like they just didn't understand. And
Yeah.
probably David Lynch was just too ahead of his time.
Well, that it's the same mentality of like why Police Squad got cancelled. So
yes, no, that was
quickly.
a brilliant piece of absurdist comedy.
Yeah, like
Too ahead
audience
of its
just
time.
won't get it. Yeah.
And they
Audience won't understand that.
successfully made 3 movies. Like Police Squad only lasted for 1 season because the network didn't understand it. But they made 3 really high grossing movies out of it afterwards.
Yeah.
The Naked Gun. It was really funny watching
with OJ Simpson.
Video. Yeah, watching Police Squad on video years after having seen the movies, and like, oh,
yeah,
they actually used a bunch of these jokes in the movie.
Yeah, which is fine.
OJ Simpson as one of the main characters is pretty funny. It's like, we didn't know.
It's like watching old episodes of Saturday Night Live and seeing like Louis C.K. or Donald Trump or
And no, Louis C.K. upsets me immensely because he's actually an extremely good comedian with great insights, but he's a piece of fucking shit who exploited his position to fuck over other people, and then his manager threatened a whole bunch of women with "I'll destroy your careers if you come out with this." And I got like when I say that sometimes sad, nasty misogynists who are still mad Louis C.K. fans going, "You're lying. You were never Louis C.K. fan." I'm like, motherfucker, I've got the first season of his TV show on disc. I paid a couple of. He did this thing where he would record specials and release them through a website for $5, which is very interesting. He actually made a fuck ton of money doing it. Doesn't sound like it's like, really? You're releasing it online for $5? How do you make? And he actually made a fortune. And so, not that I feel like justifying myself to misogynists who still wanted to Louis C.K., but they're like, "You're not a real fan." Like, yeah, I am, which is why I'm super mad at him.
Yeah, the very first YouTube playlist that I made myself was a collection of Louis C.K. clips from his stand-up shows.
Yeah. No, he was
way back in the day when YouTube was starting to rise in popularity, and I'm like, this guy's a fucking legend. I love his comedy, and turns out, piece of shit.
Yeah, he was very insightful and very funny. Just a really fucking awful person.
And fucking fucking growing up listening to Bill Cosby.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh yeah, because he had a bunch of he released a bunch of his stand-up routines on album.
Yeah,
and
my dad had LPs, vinyl albums of Bill Cosby. I listened to
They
Bill
made
Cosby
he made
album.
he released heaps of them, and
Hmm.
I just soaked it up. I memorized them as a
Hmm.
early teenager,
Oh,
and
I listened to so many of them. Yeah.
yeah, did not recognize the warning signs there.
Okay, the creepiest thing I ever saw, like when it came out that Bill Cosby was drugging the drinks he gave women to abuse them.
Mm.
There's an episode of The Cosby Show where there's a family barbecue and he makes his patented punch to give to everyone. And
Oh,
he's talking
God.
about, and everyone's drugged out of their fucking brains. All these people are sitting around saying weird, drugged up things to each other. And it's like, you made a joke about drugging people in your squeaky clean sitcom. And it was one of the most unsettling things I've ever seen. It was a central joke in this one
That
episode.
is surreal.
Yeah, no, it's really fucking weird. It's like he wants to be caught. Like I actually watched the 2-part sort of doco. I think it's only 2 parts. There's only 2 parts there at the moment on Netflix about Jimmy Savile on Netflix.
Yep.
It's subtitled a British horror story, and it's fucked. Watch it with Mrs. Angry, and she's
Okay.
like, "Yeah," and you watch all these clips out of context. And it's like over the decades, he was repeatedly telling people, I'm actually awful. I'm actually terrible. You're praising me for raising this money for charity, but I'm actually a piece of shit. I'm actually doing terrible things. And none of you are catching me. And it's like he was trying to be caught for several decades.
Yeah.
It's very weird. Very, very weird. And I was a little cautious about watching that because I thought, how sort of horrific is this going to be? How much is this going to do my head in with terrible stories? I don't think it goes into the darkest areas it could have gone into. It's basically just explored, here's the stuff that's irrefutable. Here's the stuff that definitely happened. And the stuff that definitely happened is extremely bad. It's extremely bad.
I'm actually not that familiar with him or what he did.
Okay.
So,
Okay. He came to fame in the 60s hosting Top of the
Yep.
Pops. And so,
Okay.
he's friends with the Beatles and the Rolling Stones from the 60s. And then he had a
Sure.
show called Jim Will Fix It. And basically from the 70s onwards, he raised millions for various charities, particularly hospitals. But then there is abundant evidence that he used his privileged position in this hospital to sexually abuse patients in the hospital,
Oh,
particularly children. He was particularly a thing for children.
jeez.
The darkest rumors, for which there is actually solid evidence that weren't even explored in this
Yeah.
Netflix thing, but it's like there's a lot of evidence. The darkest ones were, one was that he was fucking dead bodies in the morgue in the hospitals where he was a privileged thing.
Oh,
They did explore that he was definitely sexually abusing patients, but they never brought up the rumors that he was fucking corpses in the morgue. And the other thing is, they talked about how he was involved with the Broadmoor prison for decades. Broadmoor is the prison for the criminally insane, where he's trying to say there's a difference between someone who's criminally insane and does terrible things. They're a patient who needs help. And there's a difference between them and just a violent criminal who's in a prison who should be punished. But one of the people in Broadmoor was the Yorkshire Ripper, Peter Sutcliffe. And they didn't even explore the times where Jimmy Savile seemed to defend Peter Sutcliffe.
okay.
And the evidence that he knew Peter Sutcliffe before he was arrested, and then
Sure.
when you track where was Jimmy Savile making public appearances when Peter Sutcliffe was killing women, and they were in the same city at the same time, and so there is a non-zero chance Jimmy
Oh,
Savile is
jeez.
actually a serial killer. Um,
Tell me he's dead, right?
Oh
Tell
no,
me
he died 10 years ago. Yeah.
Oh, God.
But also, the BBC and everyone else had done all these things to celebrate Jimmy Savile's life, and someone's going, "Okay, now
Of
he's
course they
dead
did.
and can't sue us, and we've got all these credible accusations of him being a serial predator. We're going to run a current affairs thing of Jimmy Savile was."
Okay. How very brave of them.
Yeah, well, the UK
Yeah.
lied because there were multiple times the cops investigated and they had women who had extremely credible stories about being sexually abused by Jimmy Somerville when they were children. But then the women didn't want their lives ruined by the court case
Yeah.
because they were like at reform schools and whatnot as kids where Jimmy Savile was a patron. And they said, well, who's going to believe us, horrible criminal teenagers, versus Jimmy
Yep.
Savile, who was friend to the royal
So he
family?
so he didn't even go to jail for it.
No. He was. The
Oh.
police were investigating him when he died, but he died
Yep.
before he was ever going. And post the investigations post his death, more than 400 separate cases that the police investigated because people came forward, and it ranged from being groped through to quite violent rape. And he was a monster, and it went on for decades. And all of the establishment, the conservative, like Margaret Thatcher, loved him. Everyone
Of
in
course
the
you.
arts and the BBC, they all loved him. Some high ups in the
Yeah.
BBC were very upset that this expose was going to come out after he died. It's like, but we had all these things set to go to celebrate the life of Jimmy Savile, and that will be ruined if you actually do a
Oh
thing.
no.
He was a serial sex predator, and they're saying so you shouldn't run that because it will ruin the stuff we want to do to celebrate Jimmy Savile's life. And it was like, what the fuck?
Yike.
So yeah, the series that's on Netflix is not too traumatizing. It could have been worse, but just watching all these clips of him taken out of context where he says creepy shit and he's got a very creepy expression on his face, and you're just like, ew, no. And also, famously, an interview with John Lydon, or Johnny Rotten as he was then, from the Sex Pistols, which was never aired, because he's like, everyone's picking on me for being this nasty punk and whatnot, but you all think Jimmy Savile's the dog's bollocks. But we've all heard the stories about him. We know what and that was never aired because it was like, we can't air an interview where this dirty punk impugns Jimmy Savile and suggests he's a creepy sex predator, even though everyone knew he was a creepy sex predator. And it's just like,
Oh gee.
hmm.
Everything about that just makes my skin crawl.
Oh yeah, like Irvine Welsh, who's famous for Train Spotting, published a short story in the 90s that was obviously based on Jimmy Savile, with this celebrity who was raising funds for the hospital, who was also sodomizing corpses in the morgue.
Oh.
And that was obviously about Jimmy Savile. And that was in the 90s, 10 years before Jimmy Savile died.
Yep.
And I looked it up recently, like, they haven't come out, and I looked at all these media articles of how Irvine Welsh never said, oh yeah, this is absolutely about Jimmy Savile. It's like, because he gets sued, so he never said. But he did. There was multiple interviews where he said, of course I've heard shit about Jimmy Savile. Everyone's heard shit about
the 90s was over 20 years ago.
I know, right? Yeah. It's
so
intense.
Yeah.
21-year-olds who were born after the year 2000. But yeah.
Yeah, I know. Oh. There are Gen Xers who are adults now.
I know, right?
Mm,
I was going to get a T-shirt I saw the other day that the slogan was, "It's weird being the same age as old people." I was like,
yeah. What did I just say? Gen
"He's the
Gen
Gen X."
Z. Oh, the Zoomers, Gen Z, who are adults, and there are
Oh
Gen
yeah,
Xers who are
yeah.
fucking midlife,
Gen Xers who are
fucking
applying for the
yeah,
pension. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
No, like my offspring are early 20 somethings, Zoomers who are
yeah,
in their early 20s. And it's just like, Jesus.
yep. I remember. Okay, so there's one of the very first drag king shows I went to.
Mm.
There was a performer who I still know to this day, um, who I instantly had a crush on. And my friend Abigail and I are constantly saying that anytime they want, we would welcome them to have an Abigail sandwich, which is just code for a three-way with us,
Yeah.
which we're actually really serious about. But
Yeah.
but the very first performance I saw them in, they were like 18, 19 years old.
Oof. Okay. Yeah.
They are now about to turn 40.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I'm
Oh,
like,
God.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like,
But even
yeah.
just YouTube and my time on YouTube, getting messages from people like, "Oh yeah, I watched you when I was in high school, and it was so cool. How old are you now?" "I'm 30." "Okay, cool. Yeah, okay, cool."
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
It's just weird. Like someone who's in their mid-teens when they started watching me on
Yeah.
the YouTube is now
Oh, fuck.
30.
When I was at uni recently,
Mm.
the nth time I went back to uni, uh I was at a queer ball, which is a multi-uni kind of ball that all the queer collectives got together and
Okay.
ran.
Yeah.
And I was sitting with someone, sitting with the group, and drinking was involved, and someone just mentioned, "Oh, I haven't kissed anyone yet," and that's just my cue. That's just like my cue to just like offer, like I'll do it. Like
I'll do
anyone
it.
who says that, like instantly, that's my cue. So I
Yeah.
ended up kissing this girl, and and it was fine, she like we did the preamble, this doesn't mean anything, it's just patching and we'll move on, but she was a good kisser. And anyway, so I mentioned that to a friend of mine, and he just looked at me shocked, and I said, how could you, she's 18 years old. And I'm like, what? Like, I was literally old enough to be her mother,
Mm.
literally. And I'm
Yeah.
just, oh,
Yeah.
oh, I had no idea.
Yeah.
She looked way more mature than she was.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
just instantly just felt old.
Yeah.
Mm.
I haven't had that since before I started up with
Oof.
Mrs. Angry, because we're like at like 17 years in our relationship. But I do
Yep.
remember with doing the internet dating at that time with someone, and she was a bit younger than me, and then it comes out how much younger than me she is, and I'm going like, okay, at this point I'm mildly mortified there is a
Yep.
possibility I'm older than your parents. So and
Oh,
then
yeah.
and then
Oh,
she's
God,
like,
yeah.
how old are you? And I said, I'm this old. She goes, oh no, it's like my dad is 5 years older than you. And I'm going, that's still not good. That's the idea
Mm.
that I'm only 5 years younger than your dad. I don't see this
Yeah.
work.
I dated someone very briefly a couple of years ago, and I was in that exact position. And it turned out she was like 22 and I was 40 something, like 41, I think, at the time. And I was about 5, 6 years younger than one of her parents. And I'm like,
Mm.
no, I think I'm going to just let this
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
slide for a bit.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
turns out she had like really like massive anxiety problems and
Mm.
kind of just um started ghosting me anyway. But
Mm.
which isn't fun to be
No.
ghosted. So, but I keep seeing her at PAX. Every time I go to PAX, she's there.
Mm.
And her anxiety instantly kicks in. And I feel kind of hard done by having been ghosted. And as much as I know anxiety is awful, I still kind of like, part of me kind of gets a bit of a kick out of having that effect. But I like, I have the angel on my shoulder saying, have compassion, but I also have the devil on my shoulder saying, just enjoy part of it. It's okay. But
Yeah.
also, I don't want her to have anxiety. Like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Oh, yeah. And I mean,
Just, yeah.
Christ, I mean, I also had a thing, and again, fortunately, I haven't had to go into dating world for 17 years, which is great.
Oh,
But I do remember
envy that.
one 20-something, and I was late 30s at this stage. So I don't know, she was 10, somewhere between 10 and 15 years younger than me, but had the literal daddy issue thing happening, even though I wasn't quite old enough
Oh,
to be.
no.
And really took it to quite an extreme. And it's like, this is actually kind of fascinating how far you're taking this. And then she would
Yeah.
even occasionally say things like, I'm really fucked up, aren't I? And I'd go, no, no, no. Internally, yes. Yeah. There's some shit
Yeah,
going on
there's no
here.
right answer to that. You like, because you can either lie or you can be an ass.
Yeah. And
Like,
I
you
was
can
going,
try to be
no.
diplomatic, but
Oh,
it's, you gotta be, you're skating a knife edge if
yeah.
you're gonna answer truthfully there.
Yeah. And then also because I
Yeah.
made friends in YouTube time with this woman who's a professional dominatrix.
Oh, yeah.
She's an Aussie who makes a living flogging poms, and I'm like, hilarious. Go for it.
That's awesome.
And it's just like, and it's like, okay, you do this stuff thing, and I go, okay, because one or two things have happened in my life with someone who wants to excessively play a submissive role. Like, okay, do you have a thing where at a certain point they're funny because they're asking you to do something, and you just look at them and go, really? You okay, I guess, if you want,
Yeah.
like, but that's pretty goddamn weird what you just asked me to do. And I was like,
Yeah, like,
no,
there's
actually
some
genuinely
there are
have issues.
some weird kinks out there, like people
Oh, yeah.
who nail their testicles to benches.
Oh,
And
the pain ones are pretty extreme.
yeah, I've seen a video of a guy who, you know what sounding is, yeah, when like,
Oh yeah, the tube up the urethra.
inserting,
Yeah.
but someone did that with a knife, a steak knife.
No,
Like,
knife play is dangerous. Yeah.
yeah, there's blood everywhere. Like, fuck that. Like,
Yeah.
that.
No, blood. Once blood
Yeah.
gets involved, you're in extremely
Yeah.
dangerous territory.
Yeah. But like men who get women to trample them with 8-inch
Oh yeah,
stilettos,
high heels,
and they'll
ball touching. Yeah.
yeah, and like just smashing the shit out of their testicles. They'll never be able to have kids.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
How? I don't
Oh,
understand. I mean, I respect it. Like, I don't shame it. I just don't understand it.
No. But yeah, no, this friend of mine who's a professional dominatrix, she says, oh yeah, like I've literally kicked the shit out of a guy because he was kicked me in the balls extremely hard, and she's like wearing high heels and stuff and really kicking him in the balls extremely hard, and he spontaneously shit himself because of and it was so that was a whole cleanup thing, and so yeah, that was her top of any conversation. Like, I've literally kicked the shit out of someone. I kept kicking this guy till he shit himself, and I was like, okay, that's the whole thing.
Wow. I knew someone who it wasn't a kink. Her ex-husband, she kneed him in the balls so hard that he had to get one of his testicles removed.
Oof. Yeah. No, you can.
Yeah.
That can be a thing.
That's a
Yeah.
thing. She did it in anger.
Oh, that's even worse. You would feel bad about
Yeah.
that.
Oh, she didn't. He was an asshole
Oh,
and
okay.
deserved it.
He deserved it. Okay.
Like, yeah. And they divorced very quickly
Yeah.
afterwards.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking the funniest one to me is someone was literally, and I think they got it off a porno of having their head stuck down a toilet, and someone saying like that's their
Yeah.
kink, and just going like, really? Okay, I don't want to laugh and I don't want to judge, but honestly, that's okay.
As long as it's clean.
Yeah, and it's like I'm literally not getting anything out of this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like there are some weird, like weird videos on Pornhub, like women tied up in just like the most unsexy situations.
Oh yeah, no, there's people are into the weirdest
out
shit.
there. Yeah, just like on a farm somewhere, tied up like on a tree, just completely restrained, and that's it. That's the thing. That's all that they do.
Oh yeah, that's the other one. Restraint stuff. Some people, even with some people, it's the artistry of the knots and the rope arrangement.
Oh, look, shibari is an art form. I'm into that. That's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But restraint as a thing is
yeah, and it is like
I don't kink shame.
The world is wide and broad, and some people are really into a particular thing, and it hasn't happened often, but a couple of times in my life, someone's gone with it's this, and I go, okay, like, you've said that's the thing you want. We're going to do the thing. If you ask me, I'm going to be honest and say I'm actually getting nothing out of this. Okay, it's just like
I've been in that situation.
You wanted the thing, and it's like okay, but the world is
it's hard,
diverse, and
I'm not into any kind of pain related anything.
No, neither am I. No,
and especially like inflicting pain, I can't do it. And I dated someone who was into that, and I couldn't do it, and we ended up breaking up. No, we have a
fundamental disconnect.
Yes, that's the word I was looking for. A fundamental, just incompatibility on this level.
Yeah. It's just the way people are. Sometimes that happens, and you just go, oh well. Like I said, in some cases I've been like, that's the thing you want. Okay. I have had ones where it's like, no.
Yeah. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to walk away now.
Yeah. No. This one didn't happen, but I remember as a thing like, you have this discussion when you're with someone like, oh, did someone ever like want to do a thing, and you were like, yep, no, get the fuck out. And one was like, a guy saying like I want to shit on your chest, and it's like,
why does it always come back to that?
It's just like
the old Cleveland steamer. Like why?
The Cleveland steamer, and it was like,
oh, why does it end up there?
Like no, that's one where I'd be quite comfortable, and it's like, excellent. No. You do you, and if you find someone who's into more power to you. But fuck off, honestly.
I love that there's a scene in Team America World Police where that happens.
Yes. The puppet sex in Team America is hilarious.
Yeah. Strictly Sega, 50 Shades of Grey movies, and the books. Very, very inaccurate depiction of healthy kink.
Well, they're written by a fucking Mormon or something, weren't they?
Yeah, very inaccurate.
some weird,
very
fucked up,
unhealthy.
repressed person. Um,
Yeah,
and their repression came out in a really unhealthy way.
yeah, extremely unhealthy.
I mean, that was
Um,
originally Twilight fanfic, wasn't it? I feel like
I
that's the
don't
folklore
know.
with 50 Shades of Grey. It was originally Twilight fanfic that got
Could have
quite
been.
popular. And then a publisher
Yeah,
said, we should release it, but you have to completely change it. It can't have anything to do with Twilight because that's someone
yeah,
else's IP.
yeah.
Oh,
That
okay.
tracked.
Now, Nicolich just got me. The Mormon was the Twilight author. The 50 Shades.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, the Mormon author of Twilight, she's the one I want to strap into a chair, Clockwork Orange style, and with the eyes popped open and force her to
Yeah,
watch 30 Days of Night. Because she did the most lame, pathetic version of vampires in all of history. And I honestly think 30 Days of Night is without doubt the most fucked up vampire movie I've ever seen.
I have not watched it, and I remember you've mentioned it before,
Yeah,
but it still escapes my memory.
yeah. No, it's just fucked up Eurotrash vampires
Yeah.
come up with this idea. Hey, I read on a book there's a town in Alaska that's in complete darkness for 30 days. So if we go there just before the darkness hits and cut that town off from the outside world, we have 30 days in which we can, in a leisurely fashion, slaughter everyone in this town because it's night the whole time and they're cut off from the outside world. And it
Stay
does
classy.
two really
So
fucked up things. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
is it like just horror, just body horror and slasher
It's
horror?
really violent, bloody horror. Like
Okay.
there's the build up is actually quite good because it's obvious something weird and fucked up is happening. Like their radio tower gets taken out and a generator gets taken, and they get a guy who's kind of like the Renfield for the vampires, the
The
human
what now?
who Renfield in Dracula. He's the human slave of Dracula
Oh, okay.
who does things.
Yep.
And so it's like a human slave who's getting stuff ready for the
familiar.
vampires. And then there's the initial point where the vampires, there's build up, which is quite good, just sort of really apprehensive horror build up. Something bad's going to happen. And then it happens. The vampires attack and they kill about half the town in the initial attack. And it's just extremely bloody. And because it's snow, you're just getting these huge sprays of red across white snow.
Oh,
So it's visually very impressive. But the two bits that I thought really fucked it up, because they're creepy old vampires and they have really long fingernails and everything. And there's one bit, one of the vampires is in one of the house. There's an old gramophone. There's an old crank gramophone. And he cranks it up.
okay.
And instead of putting the needle on the record, he puts his talon in the groove of the record and plays this really crackling version of the record as it resonates up his claw on his hand.
Oh, okay.
And I found it supremely creepy. But at one bit when it's really advanced and there's, it's about halfway through the month and there's a small group of humans who are holed up in a attic and they're keeping themselves away from the vampires. And they think maybe the vampires forget. At one point, there's a human woman walking down the street by herself, sort of crying in terror and saying, "Someone help me, someone help me." And one of the people in the attic goes, "We have to go and help her." And someone else grabs her and goes, "Are you fucking insane? Wait." And then as the woman walks down the street going, "Someone help me," there's a lag of all these vampires across the rooftops. So she's bait. She's trying to get someone to come
Yeah.
out. When it doesn't work, because the humans work out she's bait, and the vampires just go, "Well, that didn't work. Well, let's just eat her." And she's looking, whimpering at these vampires towering over her, please no. And they're going to get her, and one of them, and she goes, oh God. And the like vampire king is like holding her by the throat. And when she says, oh God, he looks up at the sky and then just goes, and then just looks back at her and goes, no God. And and it's just like, it's so fucked. It's just like they're so malevolent and so evil. And they're
Yep.
they're not just into drinking blood, they're into terrifying and torturing
Oh,
their human
okay.
livestock. It's like they're
Yep.
fucked up. They're very fucked up,
Yep.
these Eurotrash vampires.
Okay.
But yeah,
So
it's-
I've just opened up a Google image search of this movie,
yeah,
and yeah, okay, that is
Yeah.
not my kind of movie.
no, it is very violent. It's the most violent vampire movie I've ever seen.
Yep.
By quite a long way, actually.
I'm more of a what's my jam in a vampire movie? I wouldn't go Interview with the Vampire. That was a bit too romanticized.
Yeah,
And I wouldn't go on the other end. I wouldn't go Dusk Till Dawn, because they were like too monstrous.
yeah.
But somewhere in the middle, I think. I don't know. I don't know where I sit.
There was one that I think was just called Vampires.
Mm.
And it was set in Texas. Yeah, Vampire,
Okay.
1998, a John Carpenter movie.
Sure.
And there was a sequel that's called Texas Vampires. James Woods is like the vampire hunter in this. And the one thing they did in it, which I thought was really innovative, is, because good vampires are sexy and there's like a quite sexual element to it. Vampire seducing. In this one, the vampires went for the femoral artery in the thigh.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And of course, that looks really sexual because it looks like they're going down on someone when they do it.
Yeah.
And that was a neat touch. Oh yeah, Strictly Sega, Coppola's
Okay.
Dracula. I've always quite liked Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula movie. And yes, Strictly Sega, you also know there was a sequel that had John Bon Jovi in it.
Yeah.
Yes, the original one, which was just called Vampires, was
Yeah.
actually
But
pretty good.
My favorite vampire movie ever has to be What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh my God, that is such a good movie. That is
Yes.
fucking hilarious. I love that.
Yeah.
And also because it just has a whole bunch of the vampire mythos in it, turning vampires into a sitcom is just hilarious.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned.
There was a vampire movie that Johnny Depp was in as a vampire. That was kind of a comedy.
Oh, Dark Shadows?
That's it, yeah.
And because that was a TV series in the 60s.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that was a TV series in the 60s.
I did enjoy that one.
And sorry, so another classic one, Lost Boys, 80s vampire movie.
Lost Boys, yeah.
That's a fantastic.
Know what I hate about this town? Fucking vampires.
Too many vampires.
Too many fucking vampires.
That movie was hilarious.
Daybreakers. Fucking Daybreakers. I watched that the other night. So good. Australian vampire movie with like international River Phoenix.
Yeah.
Fucking not River Phoenix. Ethan Hawke. Why do I always mix those two up?
It's two Australian brothers who like wrote and directed that. They also did the really trippy time travel sci-fi that had Ethan Hawke in it.
Yes.
Predestination. Both
I
of
like
those
that
movie.
Yeah.
Predestination again.
Daybreakers is good. Strictly
Daybreakers
Saber.
is very good. It's a vampire
Yes.
thing where the vampires have basically won, and the vampires
Yes.
have almost wiped out the non-vampire population. And there's a whole question of, is that sustainable and whatnot? But again, it's very good.
Yes. So Daybreakers released in the year 2009, horror sci-fi, and the synopsis is in the year 2019. Oh, the future.
Ooh, the far-flung future.
Yes. Almost every human has been turned into vampires, but there's a dwindling blood supply. And yeah, so there's a researcher is working on a way to save both to save vampires and humans and all that. So it's a really good movie. And Predestination, also really good movie.
Yeah.
Different tone, though, of course.
Predestination, it's a time travel sci-fi. And it's like, if you've ever watched a time travel thing going, this is dumb because you can't do cause and effect with this wing. Predestination just went, oh, you think time travel is an internal contradiction? Wait till you fucking see what we do. They've just taken the internal contradiction of time travel and turned it up to 11. And they've just gone, my God.
Oh, have you watched? I'm due for a rewatch of this. The Time Traveler's Wife, with Eric Bana.
I watched it when it came out. Yeah,
I enjoyed the fuck out of it when I watched it.
Apparently, the book's great.
I don't remember why I enjoyed it so much, which is why I'm due for a rewatch.
Yeah,
but all I know is that I really, really enjoyed it.
What I remember is it was a really interesting love story because it's literally on a time traveler's wife. He comes up with a time travel thing. So she runs into him at different times in her life. And he's at different stages in his life because of time travel.
Yeah.
And
but he can't control it. He can't control his time travel.
Once he initially traveled back in time, they could not have a linear relationship after that.
Yeah.
And so it's just the whole things of them crossing paths at different points.
And even when like he meets her when she's really young, like at like small child, not creepy at all. Like you think that would be creepy, but no, it was done really well. So
oh my God. And also a slightly different version of time travel. And I happened to see a bit of it when I was flicking through channels the other day. The one with Matthew McConaughey, where they sort of gravity affects time when they're going on this deep space mission to try and save.
Interstellar.
Interstellar fucking rocks.
One of my favorite movies of all time.
The bit that broke my heart, like when he first says, I'm going out on this impossible mission and leaves his daughter behind, and she keeps saying, I keep getting messages from my bookcase.
Yeah.
And the messages don't go. And you go, oh, that's just your desperate daughter telling you to not go. And then
but it's him
in the far future, and he actually works out how to send messages back to her. And he feels like the mission failed and he should never have gone on it. And so he's sending the message to her saying, tell me to stay. And you go, that was real? You actually sent the message back trying to tell yourself? That was heartbreaking. When that was a real message that he tried to tell his daughter, tell me not to go.
Yeah.
And
the thing that really just cracked what's the word? I'm really failing with words tonight. That brings me to tears is when he gets back from the water planet caught in the gravitational well, and it's like decades later, and he gets all the messages back, and he finally gets a message from his daughter, and she's his age.
Yes.
And she says that last time I saw you, you said that you would be, that I might be your age when you got back. Well, I'm your age now.
and you're not
And
back.
he's just bursting with tears, and
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
bawling my eyes out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just, yeah,
That
yeah,
was the bit,
heartbreaking.
that was the bit that was playing when I flicked through the channels. The water
Yeah.
planet and how they'd been down on
Mm.
there for a few minutes, and for the ship that was up in orbit, it was years. So they'd left a guy on
Because of
there
time
who was
dilation. Yeah.
by himself for years. But yeah, the time back on Earth was decades, and
Yes.
that was just the
So,
emotion in that movie was so
yeah.
intense.
Oh, yeah. Did you know that there's Easter eggs in the soundtrack to that movie?
Yep.
The ticking noise, the ticking
Yeah.
sound when they first land on that planet, and you hear the music is tick tick tick.
Yeah.
Every time you hear that tick, it's 1 day on Earth.
Oh wow! Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
1 day. Tick
Cool.
tick
Tick.
tick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally. Yeah, they
Yeah.
timed it. So much maths and science went into that movie.
Yeah.
Someone even published a paper about visualizing black holes, which is
Yeah.
how they got the visuals for
Yeah.
Gargantua, the black hole.
Yeah.
I forget his
Also,
name now,
yeah.
but yeah. I think
Reminds
I've
me.
seen About Time, Strictly Sega. I think I've seen that
Yeah,
movie.
it's a light rom-com, which is quite
Is
funny.
that the one with Superman dude? What's his name? Christopher Reeve?
No,
Or am I
you're
thinking of a
thinking
different
that's
one?
Time After Time.
Time
That
After
was
Time, yeah. Which
about
is also,
H.G. Wells. Yeah.
yeah, that was a
Yeah.
good movie.
No, About Time was a good, fun rom-com that involved time travel. But I was also thinking of Inception, the soundtrack in that, where it's like when
Oh,
you're in the
yeah.
thing, and it's this really moody sort of whoa. It's like, no, that's actually Non Regretta Rianne slowed down 100 times because that's the relevant
Yes.
time dilation in the layers. At the top one, it's
Yes.
playing Non Regretta Rianne, and down in the lower ones, it's this really moody whoa. But it's that
But
slowed
it's
down
actually,
100
yeah.
times.
Yes.
That was pretty neat. Tell you what,
Yes.
I think I'm going to go to bed.
Oh, okay,
Not
cool. It
not
is
hugely.
11:30.
It's 11:30. Not hugely tired, but I was wasted for a lot of today. I thought
Sure.
I can get some proper sleep if I go to bed now.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Because I went out last night,
Yeah.
and I have to write off this entire weekend, so I'm just getting as much rest and not
Yeah.
thinking about much at all. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna
Yeah.
do whatever, and
Yeah, I didn't
so
even have a nap today. I thought I'd have to have a nap in the afternoon.
I
but
slept for 12 hours last
kind of
night. So
survived. Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, cool.
So probably
Bye,
doing the live
everyone.
stream for Sunday night, just
Long
normally
and
fun.
prosper.
Yeah, live long and
Cool.
prosper. If you
Come
haven't
out.
watched the video we made that I posted this week for Star Trek, you should watch it because I think it's really funny.
I think I'm really cringy in it, but that's
I don't
just
think
me.
you're being an emotionless alien in it. It works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
don't know.
again,
That's just me.
we'll rehearse a Star Wars one. You got to bring the lightsaber
Okay.
over.
Yes.
We'll do lightsaber.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
A blue one and a red, or green one and a red one.
I have access to another lightsaber, so
Okay.
I can ask Will to borrow his, and we can have two of them.
Yeah. But I feel like, yeah, for May the 4th, we have to do like eyeball. It's like a tall glass. One is red and one is green, and that is like reflecting the lightsabers of Luke and Vader. But I mean, failing that, I think I can make a purple drink. I could be a Mace Windu. We could make a Mace Windu a purple drink.
Cool.
But anyway, gonna go to bed. So if you're around,
good night, everyone.
See you.